Hi,
Welcome
YouTube.
to the Pantsless Podcast. My name is Tamala. With me is Trevor the Miracle, Gradigan Northern Savant. What's up, everybody?
You guys didn't miss anything at all.
Yeah, we started the recording just at the right time, too. When it was supposed to start. But yeah. So, we have a list of things to talk about today. Some are more funny than others. But I hope we have a good show. Shall we get into the things?
Let's get into it.
So first off, Farming Simulator is getting their own sport event.
About damn time.
Exactly.
I have been chomping at the bit.
Exactly. I think this is phenomenal news to every Farming Simulator fan. So this tournament that or esport league that's gonna start is gonna be, the prize pool is gonna be 250,000 euros. And
Which is absurd.
Well, yes, it is. It's absurd. And apparently, this is a really big thing. Farming Simulator they've had previous more tournament styles, but they've been smaller, and never has there been a league that has this big of a prize pool. The winner, the best teams are going to compete in a 100,000 euro grand finale. And hopefully people take this seriously. Esports is a big thing.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to see how it will work out. Like, game not built for esport, trying to tap in the esport. What it's gonna be like.
Yeah, I want to see. So have they? I guess like what I want to say is, like, I want to see like what the broadcasters and stuff are like for the game, just because, like when you watch Overwatch and these other games, they're like very aggressive and action packed and stuff like that, and it's almost like watching an MMA fight kind of thing or a football game, but like Farming Simulator just seems very passive and whatnot. So I just want to see how like some of these announcers, people like make it seem like something really exciting is going on. Like, the potatoes are growing now, and they're growing, they're taking them over. Like,
He's gonna make a chicken farm. Let's build a chicken farm. Let's go.
Oh no, his
the
tractor broke
chicken's died. Oh
down.
my god, what's it gonna do now?
His tractor broke down. What a crippling blow to his economy.
Insurance won't cover it. What's gonna happen now?
He didn't get Act of God insurance. The humanity.
We jest here, but the winner takes 100,000. So
Yeah,
that's serious fucking cash.
I mean, that just proves that, like, anything that can be construed as even slightly competitive will be competitive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, humans love to compete in anything. So
I kind of want to look into it to figure out because shocker, I don't play Farming Simulator, mostly because I'm surrounded in cornfields right now, so I don't need to really get into that. But I'm curious what the metric is. Like, do you make money? Is it to the first person to, like, get so much money, or is it like, is there a time limit, and then the person at the end of that is that the winner with the most money?
See, I read somewhere, not in this particular article that I provided you, but I read somewhere that it's competitive farming, and like some of the other competitions that they have is like hay bale stacking and stuff. So I mean, but I assume this thing would be like in what the core of the gameplay is, which is to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see them, like, I was talking to Tom earlier, like, do kind of like mini games in the environment of the entire thing. So like he said, like hay stacking, or maybe who can grow a certain amount of crops in a certain amount of time first, or whatever like that. And then obviously, I think the point, I haven't played a Farming Simulator, obviously, but I think the point of the game is to just make as much money as possible. So I could, I think that would probably be the main thing is who can reach X amount of money, first. But also have like all these like mini games in there as well.
I mean, I want to watch a game day of this when it starts.
Yeah,
would
it sounds
scope it out.
interesting.
Yeah, it's like I don't think any of us play Farming Simulator at all, but it's it's obvious. It's obviously like, and oddly enough, like one of the biggest games out there. Like I think I read like it was like in the top 20 games like played in general right now. And so I mean the market's there to have people actually watch it and stuff. So I don't think it's gonna do poorly at all.
Yeah, that's what's weird about like those simulator games is that there's like entire communities that we've just never heard about. Like like you said, it's a huge game and tons of people play it, but I only know one guy that plays it. And like the same for like those Euro train simulators or whatever they're called. That has
like
that.
The Euro Truck and Euro Train and Euro...
Yeah, like that.
I know someone that plays Euro Truck.
Euro Truck is if you were to buy every piece of DLC, Euro Truck is the most expensive game of all time.
Oh,
if you were to buy...
See, I think that's the train version of it.
Well, that's what I said. I thought it was train, but you said Euro Truck, so I thought I was mistaken.
I thought you just meant the Euro Truck because it's more popular. But Euro Train...
Yeah, Euro Train is like, if you buy every piece of content for that game, it is the most expensive game of all time. It's in the thousands of dollars to buy everything. Yeah.
Train Simulator 2019. See all. Is there some total sum here?
I don't know.
Total sum of all DLCs. This is in euros, so I mean dollars may vary. 6,889 euros and 3 cents.
So that's like $8,000, probably $8-9 grand.
I mean, I think the actual price is the same in dollars. Usually, like euros and dollars are the same price on Steam.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure how Steam did that.
What kind of content even comes with like? Are they just like, oh, here's a new city that you can go through, or?
I think it's new trains.
Yeah,
I'm really not
sure.
sure.
In the train thing, it's like trains. Are you not hot for the Amtrak P42 DC Empire Builder Loco add-on? Huh?
Yeah, I have that. I have that on every platform.
Yeah, man. Or
I think it's
who can forget the Network Southern? Oh, that's not a train. I mean the New Haven E33 Loco.
Classic train.
Classic train.
I remember that one.
Yeah, I remember it was hype whenever it came out. But I think it's almost like the DLC kind of works like a fighting game DLC. You get a stage and you get a fighter. You get probably a new track and you get a new train. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
I did see in one article that I read about the farming esport thing is the developers and stuff are actually looking at making maps that basically multiple teams can go onto the same map and not have an advantage towards the other ones, because I guess like as of right now the game's not made for esports. So like if someone's over here, they may have water resources that this guy doesn't have over here or something like that. So they're actually looking at just for the esports aspect of it to like develop new content for the game.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me, it's not balanced.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
But if there's people are probably gonna find that this is the best location and everyone's gonna use it anyway.
Yeah. I think what they'll probably do is basically make like a super duper neutral. They'll either make a super neutral map where like any one spot is better than the other, or they won't randomize where you spawn. You'll like be able to pick your spawn point. I assume. I don't know. Is it random?
I played the Euro Truck Simulator a little bit, and you can actually choose I think it's one of the main cities of the countries in Europe that you can choose and depending which DLCs you have, the DLCs usually unlock a new area that has the new area and new places to buy your trucks. So the trucks are like located in that area, so you can't buy it unless you have the DLC, and so on. So I think you can actually choose which location you want to spawn. But then again, if you want to spawn in Italy, you have to have the DLC pack to spawn there.
I just wonder when we're gonna have a Euro Truck Simulator esport league. Like who can get from point A to point B like the quickest, and without trashing the truck.
But isn't it like racing game simulator then?
Oh, bro.
Racing with
except in a semi.
Yeah, or bigger.
Yeah.
Because that would be not something that I would watch, but maybe there's an audience for it.
just play Desert Bus.
Oh yes, of course.
Maybe there's like speed runs to it or something.
There
Speed runs to 100K
for it.
Yeah.
Back to the farming simulator though. The hike in the prize pool is actually pretty big because what was formerly the biggest tournament that they had was in Hero Fest in Bern, is in Switzerland. They offered a prize pool of $1,890 or euros. Sorry. So we go from a roughly 3,000 euro prize pool up to the 2,500, 250,000, like $250,000, I should say.
Yeah.
Recently. I mean, this is a big deal, and probably, at least I hope what this does is it drives new players to Farming Simulator. That was kind of like what they tried to do with the Heroes of the Storm, which did not really work. Had insane prize pools for HOTS tournaments too, and it didn't really turn people to the game.
But then again, it's different with Farming Simulator because they already have a huge community behind it. Like HOTS did not have that community, and the esport scene was created so they can pull more people into the game. And this is basically not the case. They just want to make it competitive, and maybe in the process pull more people. They're not going to force or like pay anyone to play the game unless you want to participate in the tournaments.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I hadn't considered that.
Yeah, because if you have the community that plays the game, you eventually have audience because not everyone can participate in the tournaments.
It's almost like you can't create a competitive game out of nowhere.
Well, you gotta have that community or like people who play it. Like you can basically any game you want. If it has a large enough community, you can just say, "Hey, let's make a competition out of this, and the winner gets this and this much money."
I mean, a lot of the older video games, mainly what I'm thinking about is Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike became a competitive game with the community. Community created Counter-Strike as a mod for Half-Life.
Yeah.
And through that it grew naturally with the player base, and over a multitude of years it's become what it is. I imagine it's way more difficult and different to start off creating a game from nothing with the mindset that this is going to be an esport.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the most successful esports are almost always the ones like Counter-Strike that it's not excuse me. The developers and the publishers aren't like shoving the competitiveness down your throat. It's like it just happens naturally. Like like the one that I'm into the most that I actually watch is Smash Brothers, and the most successful one competitively is the one that Nintendo has no intention of ever supporting a competitive scene for. And Super Smash Bros. Melee is their most successful competitive game, and they want nothing to do with it.
Are you trying to tell me that the people that made Farming Simulator did not have the concept of making it into an esport beforehand.
Yeah, like
not at
who
all.
the hell came up with the idea? Like
No,
they were competing in the office, like, all right, George, let's go play this farming simulator and let's see who gets to 100,000 first. And they played the game and realized that it was kind of fun. And like they got all the people on the office look around their shoulders, like, oh, it's gonna be so intense. And they decided, like, let's make this esport. That's a good idea.
They've been playing the long game.
Maybe the game is intense. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we should have actually tried the game before talking about it.
I don't want to buy it.
Yeah, I don't need. It's only $20. It is
still
kind of
don't wanna
cheap,
buy
but I don't want to either.
I think for me, like, if I was going to buy the game, though, like, I would have to buy it and with the idea of I'm going to try to get good at this to like compete with it, because other than that, like, there's other. I'm just gonna say a passive game. I don't know what just a time-consuming game. Other games that interest me way more than Farming Simulator, and so I do think that like them making an esport out of it is going to bring in more. I don't know how many, but like it's going to bring in more players because, like I said, like if I was going to buy the game at all, it would be now to like get into the competition to actually have something like just have more there for me, I guess. Because watching a tractor just go back and forth on a cornfield isn't my thing.
What?
But maybe if I'm like,
to you?
maybe it may be though if I'm like, oh shit, I got to beat this guy on his tractor going across the cornfield. Then
you're just not emotionally invested, Trevor, and you just got to get that fire in you.
Yeah.
I think that's what's really strange about it, because I like I said, I do have one friend who plays it, and sometimes whenever we'll go over there and hang out, I'll catch him in the middle of the game, and I'll just wait until he finishes, and I'm just giving him shit for it the whole time. I'm like, dude, you got to get them crops, and you can automate like everything, like you can just tell it to go, and it'll just go. But he's like, no, I like to do everything myself. I'm like, you like to drive up and down this giant field you have, collect this corn, take it to the bin, pour it out, and do it again. Because it's not easy. Like, it's a top-down truck that you control with WASD, and you've got to back up this the combine into the silo, and then it gets pulled out, and he's like, no, I want to do it all myself. Like, you can hire help in the game to do that stuff for you. He's like, no, I'm the only one who works on this farm.
I wonder, one thing I've seen a few videos, like just YouTube videos, not any live streaming, but like you were saying, like, I've seen people play, and it supposedly is kind of hard to keep a straight line. So I wonder, like, if we're gonna see people like in the time mode, like being Russian, just like fucking up their field and shit, going all over and whatnot. And but I've also seen people do like, I don't know if we call them hacks or whatnot, but they do the automation thing, and they'll like buy a conveyor belt and run it through the entire city from like one side to the other, to where it just automatically dumps all their shit to the thing instead of having to drive back and forth and shit. So I wonder if they're going to like allow things like that in the competition, or would that be considered like cheating or hacking or whatever? Because I mean, you can do it.
I think that's just a competitive strat. I don't know how they couldn't allow that.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, I'd like to see if they allow that stuff, and if they do, like, what's the craziest shit people are going to come out with? That'd be like, I'm going to make as much money as possible, and this is the easiest way possible and stuff, and just see like
I mean, I'm definitely going to watch the league when it starts. And as a person who works in the gambling industry, I really hope we offer this as an event to our trusted gamblers.
Yeah, I definitely would like to watch it.
But yeah, Farming Simulator gets an esport league with an obscene amount of money up for grabs. So shit, that's a thing now.
I didn't realize it was. I missed in the headline. It's 3v3. I didn't know that this was a team competitive game.
I don't know
That's crazy.
I don't know what that means. No idea, man.
3 farmers.
Yeah.
Do they all work on the same farm, or is it like collective amount of money?
No, I think they all work on the same farm. So it's actually kind of cool because you can like there actually has to be kind of like a team strategy that you have to put together beforehand. Just like kind of like you do with first person shooters and stuff like that. You have to have I know this guy's going to go over here and grow these potatoes while I go over here and put down this fertilizer and things like that. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I even though we're kind of dumping on it, I am actually excited to see.
See, I want to watch it.
How it's competitive.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
want to watch it, man. Like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm never going to play the game. I'm never going to buy it, never going to play, nothing. I want to watch it.
I won't say never.
Yeah. Never say never.
It's just, I'm not interested. That's the gist of it.
You're not
until now.
Yet.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I
bought games in the past that I was not interested in either. So, but all right, let's move on before we spend an hour talking about Farming Simulator. we don't want this to be a 6-hour episode. So let's go on to my favorite company in the world, EA. And I'm sad for EA because they have to comply with Belgium law. So what has happened? EA has officially stopped selling FIFA Points in Belgium. And they're doing this because Belgium has declared loot boxes as gambling. And as such, the FIFA packs that you can buy with FIFA Points, which contains player cards essentially for your ultimate team, are also considered gambling because you don't know what you get. Now, EA has said, I'm going to show you the part that I want people to focus on. Hopefully that looks good on stream. And I'm just going to quote this. "We do not agree with Belgian authorities' interpretation of the law, and we will continue to seek more clarity on the matter as we go forward. The impact of this change to FIFA Ultimate Team in Belgium is not material to our financial performance." It's two parts. We do not agree with Belgian authorities' interpretation of the law. How much of a douchebag do you need to be that you're an American company, you sell your shit in another company, and then you're just like, nah, fuck your law. You have to let us do what we want to do. And this is not to dump on because they're American. I don't care from what country they come from. The fact that they're in another country telling them to that country what they can and can't do is mind-blowing to me. And the second part, which a lot of people misinterpreted a lot, is that the impact of this change to FIFA Ultimate Team in Belgium is not material to our financial performance. What people read and what they thought was that EA is somehow declaring that loot boxes is not a revenue source for them, which it is. But that's not what this thing is saying. This thing is saying that the revenue they get from Belgium is not material, which is probably true. Belgium is a small country. They probably don't sell a lot of FIFA games there. But what EA probably is afraid here is that other countries will do the same thing, especially European Union countries. And I guarantee you, if this shit hits the UK, EA will shit their pants. Because FIFA is the most sold game in the United Kingdom by far. I mean, those fucking dudes, they love football, but
well, according to EA, pretty much nothing that can happen bad will ever impact them financially. Because I'm pretty sure every time they've been dumped on somewhere and they've been caught with their hand in the cookie jar, they're just like, it's not really going to impact our revenue. Like, I feel like they've said that over and over again every time they get a slap on the wrist.
But I think it has to do something with the fact that they have multiple revenue.
Right.
That they can get a lot of revenue from different places. It's not just that place. And
well, not just that, but no company, no matter what happens, they're not going to go out and be like, yeah, we're fucked. Because then all their shareholder, everything, they're just going to pull out. No one's going to want to partner with them or do anything with them if they think they're going in the dumpster, So you got, no matter what happens, you have to go out there and say, oh, we're fine. This doesn't even affect us,
Yeah, but I think they should tackle this problem right now because in my opinion, it's inevitable that it's gonna happen in pretty much every country. So they have to create a way to sell stuff in games without making it gambling. So
I would like to see the law exactly how it's written, because I understand Tom's point of I kind of understand you shouldn't go to another country and say, fuck your law, whatever. But if they are misinterpreting their law, well then they should say something. I don't.
The great thing with law though is that especially older laws are very much up for interpretation, and that's why we have court cases, which sets a precedent for the future, so that we don't have to interpret the law every time.
I don't think this is an old law. I'm pretty sure it's within the last year or so.
I mean, they are falling upon their gambling laws, their existing gambling laws, which are old. There are in every country. I mean, old, I mean 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 years, I don't care, but still, it's an existing law. They've just deemed that loot boxes are also gambling.
Yeah. I would want to know if... So my big thing is there's two ways to look at it. You could look at it one way, as in I'm paying money to possibly get something that is more valuable than something else. So in that way, that's gambling. I could get something or I couldn't. But then the other way to look at it is no matter which item you get in a loot box, they both have no material value. And I would like to see if the law states material value, because if it doesn't, or, then the law might not apply to loot boxes, because technically it's digital stuff that has intrinsically no value. And then therefore it's not really gambling. You're just paying someone for nothing. Yeah. Basically.
I mean, I've not read the Belgian law at all. And, what a lot of countries have been talking, in Finland too, is that when the gambling laws were written, there were no such thing as digital, whatever digital. So everything was material or physical. So a lot of those laws are not really up to date. So here in Finland, for instance, we declared that loot boxes are not gambling because they can't be gambling, because digital goods are not valued at anything.
Yeah, that's kind of with my job. I sell digital items. I don't sell any material items, so technically I don't get taxed on what I sell because it's digital, because there's no value technically in my state. I mean, other states may be different, but in my state, you don't get taxed on anything just purely digital. So,
see, where we drew the line here in our little country is that if you have a digital good that you can sell for real value money, then it has a value. So and that's what I think the Netherlands also, why they deemed CSGO skins illegal. It's because you can sell the skins on the marketplace, which means that they have a value.
Yeah.
So Valve cannot say that they have no value, because they have.
Yeah.
But I mean, all the loot boxes are here; they're still legal. But nothing has been deemed illegal here.
I think that's a little bit of a horse of a different color, just because, like you said, those skins and things like that do have a value. But Counter-Strike, unless there's just this whole other market out there that I just don't know about, which is possible, but Counter-Strike I think is a very unique situation, because I don't know any other game where you can actually sell your skins for real money. I know that there's some places where you can like turn them into gyms or whatever, so you can like craft whatever's. But I don't know any other game where you can actually sell for real life money.
I don't think
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that you can do the same in Dota.
Can you?
Very exclusive rare skins that you could get like 2007 or something like that, and you can still sell them, and they're like you can't get them anymore, so they're expensive.
I'll make you do. You can do the same in PUBG too.
Yeah.
Could you? Did people have? Was there like a marketplace for real money in Diablo 3 early on?
Yeah, the auction house.
But they scrapped that, right?
Yeah, they scrapped it, but it was there at one point.
Yeah, and
with the auction house, there was never any loot boxes attached to it.
Yeah, I was just seeing if they sold digital items for real money though.
Yeah, but it wasn't like they did, but it's even a little bit different too, because like Tomolo said, they weren't random. Oh, I guess they were random. You just didn't have to pay for them in the first.
That was gambling too. You had to put in your time.
Yeah.
See, what I would hope to happen here is that countries revisit their laws on what gambling is. How do you define gambling? Because I very much think loot boxes are gambling, because you don't know what you get. And more often than not, they employ a very psychological strategy in where you buy a loot box, you get something, and then you buy the next loot box in the hopes of getting something better.
Yeah. I think if you're allowed to, it's really weird. I think if you're allowed to resell the item for X value, then I would consider it gambling. But if you're not allowed to resell the item to make money off of it, then I wouldn't consider it gambling, because again, it falls back to it's valueless then by that point.
Yeah, but
you can't sell it. I
would add that if the item that you get from the loot box has value in game, or it's like a new football player that you can use in the game, and it's very good. It has value because it has value in the game, and even though it's digital, you can just be opinionated on that. You know, someone might look at it and be like, "This is way better," and then another person be like, "No, that's not as good as this thing." Well, technically, yeah, but it sort of changes the game a lot, and it's unfair. So I would say it's gambling, just because it doesn't level the playing field.
Yeah, would pay to win mechanics be considered gambling in your mind, Trevor?
I don't.
I think it depends.
I don't think it would be gambling. I just think it'd be shitty.
Well, yeah, that too.
Well, I think it should be gambling because I see it as immoral, sort of.
Because, and even if you're winning the game more, is that value?
It's value to you probably, because you enjoy the game a lot more.
But is it value to the real world?
Does it have like an intrinsic physical value?
Yeah, does it have physical value?
No.
So it's not gambling.
See, my biggest
in my mind.
My biggest issue with loot boxes is because they're designed to be addictive. And currently there's no boundaries to them. You can do whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you know, me and Gradually live in America. I don't know what gambling's like in other countries, but if I wanted to, I could go to Las Vegas right now and bet my house on, black and lose it. And that's not a good thing, but I have the free choice to do that if I want to do it. And I understand that people have problems gambling. It's addictive. I'm not sure what the solution to that would be, but it's one of those things like, should you be able to have the free choice to do that if you want to?
Well, here's something to think about that I don't know that anyone has, and maybe it's not even a thing that happens anymore because no one pays attention to them. Who here even remembers that Steam has those cards that you can trade for like Steam emotes?
Oh, I know that they're there.
But, well, those are obtained, some of those are obtained randomly from packs. Like you get a pack and you get it and you get cards. You can take those cards and sell them for real money.
What packs?
There's like packs of cards. Like you get a pack of like a pack of those digital cards, and you open it and you just get like 5
Wait,
random.
Are you talking
cards.
about trading cards? The Steam trading cards?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I just get them while I play games.
Yeah. If
You can get
game.
You can you not anymore? Because I know that you used to get like packs of random cards.
You can actually like disenchant the cards into gems, and then you can buy with the gems. For instance, you can buy Payday 2 card packs or something like that.
Yeah. So but you can also sell those cards for real life money. Now 90% of them are like a nickel, so it's not like you're gonna get rich,
man. I mean, yeah, I know you can sell them.
So is that gambling? Should Steam be banned? You know, because
are they gambling if you just get those items?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking. You get them for free, but it's still like you still randomly get things that you can sell for money.
Yeah, technically, you only pay for the game, and that is your like input to the table, and you get something in return, which is cards that have random amount of value.
See, this is why more smarter people need to decide if loot boxes are gambling or not. If we cannot even fucking define what gambling is.
So see,
I work in the goddamn industry and I can't define what gambling is.
So what you're saying is because I bought the game, because I paid money for the game, and the cards are just a byproduct of the game, then that's not gambling.
I would not say that it's gambling.
But in
because you don't gamble for them.
Right, but it's still a random thing. You're still paying money for the game that then gives you the cards.
Well, then buying the game is a random thing. Then buying a game is gambling because you don't know what game it is you're gonna play.
I would hope you would know what game you're buying.
If you're going blind into the game,
right?
So, I'm not. So if I buy a game just off the shelf, that would be gambling too because I don't know what I'm buying. Should that be illegal then?
No, because I mean, you're not. You know exactly what you're getting into. You know what game you're buying.
That doesn't hold material value like the digital.
My experience is nothing.
Yeah.
Do they ever do?
It's worth nothing in money, technically.
Do they ever do like mystery packs on Steam at all? Like, you know, pay $5,
like
get 5 random games that you don't know what they are, but. It seems like something that they may do, and I was wondering if you guys would consider that gambling then.
I think I've heard about it, but I can't confirm if it's true or not. And it might have been like an external website that sold 5 random games for Steam.
Yeah.
For like $15, and you don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah. Because that's technically gambling. If any company, gambling. Not even just Steam, but any company, then
that's loot boxes within Steam, technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ban them all!
I think Corbett said that earlier. Ban it all.
I mean, yes, like, I don't know. Inherently, I think that loot boxes should be regulated in some way. Because they are really addictive. And I don't want to have addicting things like that can actually destroy lives in games. Yeah. They're there for a reason. They're there because they make money. They're there because there's people who spend their paycheck on them. They put those things there because they want to profit for it. And I'm not saying making a profit is wrong. The way you make your profit can be questionable, though.
Yeah.
But for instance, if you think about it, like if there would be a game like CS:GO, and it's a new game, and you get the loot boxes there, and you can sell the products that you get from the loot boxes, would be there a moment in the market where it would make money buying loot boxes rather than buying the items individually? Wow. Like, would you get? Is there like a point where you could make money just by buying loot boxes?
There's always you can always make money off of it.
Yeah. I mean, I know people that made a lot of money doing the CS:GO loot boxes.
Yeah.
You spend like $3 on a key, and then you get a $1,000 skin.
Yeah, but if you use like $1 million on loot boxes, would you end up having a profit in the end?
Yeah,
You're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're lucky. I guess it all depends on the rates at that point.
Yeah.
I think where I stand on it is when you buy loot boxes, if you can make money off of it, physical money, not in-game money, but physical money, then it's gambling. If you can't, then it has no intrinsic value, and it's not gambling. That's where I stand on it.
What is the argument that like companies that use loot boxes? Is it like because you always get something in return?
It's a choice,
gambling?
I think,
And
is their main
Player
argument.
choice.
Yeah, but you always get something, regardless what loot box you open. It
How
always
shitty would
has
that
something,
be?
but in gambling you can lose everything.
Yeah.
How shitty would that be if sometimes
that's
you
what that's what most companies argue when somebody's trying to make loot boxes illegal. The first argument they do is that you always get something.
Yeah.
Well, every time you open a loot box, you get something. Now,
But
whatever you get may vary. You can whatever it is, whatever game you play, but you always get something.
yeah, but isn't that what like some like internet slot machines have? If you put like $1 in, you will always get something like below $1, but you have the chance to get something over $1.
I mean, the basic concept of a slot machine is that whatever the amount of money you put in, you will never make a return.
Yeah.
But slot machines are a little bit different and highly manipulative. Don't play slot machines, people. You will never make a profit with a slot machine.
Not
Into a
unless
slot
you're
machine.
just super lucky.
My grandfather gave me $100 one time and told me, he's like, play that slot machine over there. And I was like, all right. I put it in. And I lost $100 in like 2 minutes.
Lesson learned.
The basic concept of a slot machine is that if you put in $10, you get about $9 in return. That's the basic concept of a slot machine. So in the long run, you will never make a profit. There's short.
Even if you win, this is kind of off subject of the gaming and all that, but even if you win, you still may not win because my grandmother actually hit the jackpot at there's a huge casino where I used to live in Alabama, and she won a jackpot there for like $500,000. And the first thing they did, they went over there, turned the machine off, and said, "Oh, it was malfunctioned." And then they tried to get a lawyer to sue them, and they're like, "We want the video camera footage of this event." And they were like, "Oh, we didn't have cameras on that area. Sorry." And it's like, they had cameras on that area. There's not a single inch in that entire place that didn't have camera. So
that's shitty.
Yeah.
That is the definition of a shady practice.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Definitely.
Wow.
Yeah. So do you think so the companies, I saw Gorber said earlier, this like he'd rather have the option just to choose a skin and pay for that than get a bunch of bullshit. Do you think that they should just get rid of loot boxes altogether and just sell the skins for an outright price?
I would choose a store any day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think loot boxes are shitty.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what I get. And I would like to buy the things I want to buy.
I think, in my opinion, the person who probably does it best, and I'm sure that everyone's going to disagree with me, and I just talked about it in the chat with Gorbish, I think Overwatch probably does it best. Just because there's nothing that's going to change the game. You get anything that you could buy, you get just by playing the game. And if for some reason you get a bunch of loot boxes and you don't get what you want, well, if you got a bunch of duplicates or you got a bunch of currency, you can just buy it. There is also just like a plain ass storefront that you can buy it from.
Apex does it very similarly.
Yeah.
I think that's the type of model that loot boxes should be. You're not really missing out on anything, and if you're patient enough, you can just get it eventually. That's like right now I have, because I've played it so much, I have 20,000 in-game currency for Overwatch. So whenever an event comes out, I play the event, I get my loot boxes. If I don't get what I want, I just buy it. So I have every skin in the game that I want.
I mean, it seems that's like a happy middle ground. I would still prefer a outright store. I would happily pay like real cash for something in game that I want. But if it's like in a reasonable price range, looking at you, Fallout 76 with your $20 skins, fuck off, please. But I mean, the Overwatch or Apex model is seems to be like a happy middle ground.
Yeah, and think about those storefront skins. If you want to buy, like, let's say this skin and it's $20, and you buy the skin, but it sort of like loses its value because you can't sell it. It's just there. But if it would have a value after buying it, it would never technically go below 20, right? Because even if the time goes on, it's probably if it's like exclusive, they're not going to sell it ever again, then it's not going to go down technically the price.
I mean, it might.
Well,
Anything that has a real value fluctuates.
Yeah, but why would it go under something that it's originally was? Because
I mean,
you're not going to be able to buy it anymore unless there comes more appealing skins to the game. That
But I mean, anything that has a value, like an intrinsic value, will fluctuate in value.
Yeah, but if you have like a loot box instead, there's going to be those items that are like $200, and then there's going to be those which everyone gets. Those no one wants to use them because they're so shitty, and they're going to be like a nickel or something like that.
As a collector of things, I can tell you that the moment you buy something, it is worth less than what you paid for it. Now, it may not stay that way, but as soon as you buy that, it is worth less than what you paid for it.
Wouldn't it be better to buy stuff secondhand then?
Absolutely. If you're okay with buying things that are secondhand and you don't want like a pristine shrink wrap on it, 100% of the time buy something secondhand.
Yeah.
Because like I said, until you can no longer get that thing, it is worth less than what you paid for it.
Yeah. But
that's the issue with skins is, it's a $20 skin. As soon as you pay $20 for it, it's not worth that.
Yeah, but in like Fortnite, they sell one skin for approximately a week. So it's technically kind of going to rise after that because you can't get it anymore. Or you're going to have to wait like 2 years to get it.
Yeah.
How you were talking about how how would the skins fall in less value or become way more value, like the cheap ones and whatnot. I guarantee you, like if you take the most basic skin of anybody and then have Ninja use that guy's skin, I guarantee the value of it will skyrocket.
Yeah.
I mean, it might.
Oh, it would. Everyone would want it.
Ninja uses all the skins though.
Well, I'm just saying, and if there was a particular one that if he had a particular one, or any other popular streamer had particular thing that they used, that'd be probably the most popular item.
I mean, you're not wrong. Like anything used by, I mean, that's why we have celebrity endorsements, because they can move product.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I would be Fortnite, I would make a contract that Ninja would wear only, or most of the time would wear the skins that are on sale at that week. That would make sense because that's the only time you can buy the skins.
And totally hype them up.
Yeah.
Because he really likes them.
I'm winning this game because this skin.
This skin is the coolest skin ever. Hashtag ad.
I think that's probably the only thing that's stopping them from doing that, because the second he does that, he's a sellout. Like, even though he's blatantly actually a sellout, it's like, you're only using the newest skin so that I'll buy it. Yeah. And then he's a sellout.
God. You have to be discreet.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, At least United States law is pretty clear on sponsored content and stuff, and how you have to be really transparent with it.
You have to disclose.
Which I really think is a good fucking idea to do.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm actually not at all sure how we would handle it here in Finland. I assume we have to disclose it too. And I mean, I would do it out of integrity anyway, but not that I'm a huge dude with sponsor deals and stuff.
I am. My mom sponsors me all the time.
Quicksilver.
This podcast is brought to you by Quicksilver. Get your Quicksilver merch at quicksilver.com. Use promo code TumTum to get like nothing off.
To get absolutely no difference.
But okay, have we said our piece on EA? We talked about EA for like 2 minutes, and then we just talked about everything else.
Yeah. Well, I guess to kind of go back towards that, I hope that this is a domino. I hope that this is the first domino.
I definitely hope that this is a domino too. And it certainly looks like a lot of European countries are looking at this.
Yeah. Well, in the article it showed that like basically every other company was like, okay, yeah, we'll pull out. We won't do that. And the only one that stayed was EA. So every other company seems to just was like, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, Blizzard, Valve, and 2K elected to disable loot boxes in their games in Belgium. However, EA wanted to sue a country.
I'm sure that'll go well.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I think whenever we talked about it the other night to kind of get ready for this, I think it was Trevor that said it, but it was like, even though they say it can't be a financial loss or it's not going to hurt them to lose Belgium, then why would they even dump the resources into trying not to lose Belgium? Like, obviously they have a stake in it, and I think it is the domino thing, but they can't.
I mean,
They can't say, well, this isn't going to hurt our bottom line while trying to not lose that.
See, like I view it as very simple. Losing Belgium is like losing a fight, but not the war. So they don't want Belgium to win, because if Belgium wins, it gives other companies the door to open to look into this and maybe think that maybe we need something like that. Yeah. And especially in the European Union, where a lot of countries do look at each other and try to have similar laws. I mean, we do have individual country laws, but then we have like EU laws. Gambling laws are individual, but we try to go for very much like similarities between ourselves. I mean, the Netherlands also declared loot boxes illegal. I know Valve stopped offering the CSGO boxes like maybe last year even. And I know there's some other country besides Belgium that was also thinking about making them illegal. And let's not forget that one Hawaiian representative who wanted to make loot boxes illegal too.
I don't think it'll ever be illegal in the US just because there's too much money to be made.
Yeah, man. Gotta go for that capitalism.
I like money.
Shouldn't that be like the American motto? I like money.
Yeah. It's actually right under the bald eagle. It's in like, it's written in lemon juice, so you gotta hold it up to a candle, but it says I like money.
Oh, okay. That explains so fucking much.
It's on every dollar. It's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, damn
it. But yeah, we'll see. Like this is obviously like, this is just Belgium doing their Belgium thing. EA has been in hot water ever since the release of Star Wars 2, and they're reaping the benefits right now. And other companies are suffering because of them. So I do think that big publishers are especially probably a little bit scared right now.
Yeah.
All right, shall we move on?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna talk about Anthem.
Anthem.
So Anthem is out, kinda, for people who paid either the premium $15 for the Origin premium access. They can play the game for a month until they pay another $15. The actual game comes out
22nd, I think.
Yeah,
Actually,
22nd.
the like $50 thing, doesn't that Anthem come with that? Like the $50 or the $100 a year thing? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think there's so many goddamn versions of this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think like their subscription service, there's like one that's like
Basic.
like $20 or $30 a year, yeah, super basic, and you get like older games, like anything that hasn't come out in the last year or two, and then the one that's like $30 a month or however much it is, I can't remember. You get like everything in their catalog.
I know one of our streamer buddies paid the $15 one month thing to play Anthem. But the reason we're talking about Anthem is more about the state of Anthem and their post-game content, or what would be better called just the end game. So, to make it really super clear, Anthem is a looter shooter. There's nothing really, like, you can't really describe it as anything else. I played it for an hour and got bored. The demo was also in a buggy fucking state, almost unplayable. I do not know how the fuck the PC controls got out of QA testing for the flight things, because they are atrocious. I'm not interested in the game. I think it's boring. And I'm gonna show you guys Error Body. So this is, make it a little bit bigger. This is the roadmap for Anthem. And people have been looking at this and are, even people who do anticipate Anthem, don't really know what to think of this. So, first you'll notice that there's really no dates on anything except like Act 1, which is March, which is next month. And nobody knows what Act 2 or 3 is. I think this is concerning for Anthem's future. Because this is supposed to be a game that you play on months on end. To me, this is not something that gives confidence for the game. Then we have this. This is the Act 1. Now, apparently there's going to be 3 updates. The Cataclysm is what they showed really early on in the promotional material for Anthem, which is this, it's supposed to be like this big world-changing event. Sounds cool as fuck. Like, you have this open world and then it just changes after this Cataclysm. But here's the thing that is, to me, most hilarious. So in Act 1, we'll get an update of quality of life and new rewards, guilds and leaderboards, new missions. Stuff that I would put in the fucking base game release.
Yeah, I think of those, the only ones that I think just should be just part of it, like quality of life stuff is improving like old systems that just aren't, they're just not up to snuff anymore. Like whenever a game is remastered and they rearrange menus or whatever, make something, but to say that they're already improving quality of life in the first month is just acknowledging that they already know some things are bad. Like that's what that says to me. So if they quality of life, guilds and leaderboards, those should be just in it Everything else is content that they want to pad out and get you to play it over and over and over. But those two should be from day one. Those should be in it. There shouldn't quality of life should never be in a game that's not even out yet, because it should already be good. There shouldn't be, if you're confident in your game, there shouldn't be any quality of life that needs improved.
Maybe they're aware that every single time you release a game, there's gonna be stuff that needs improving, but they're not just aware of it, and
that's a good point.
Too aware of knowing that it's gonna have the problem.
I mean, the UI is atrocious.
Yeah.
I hate the UI.
That's a good point, though, North. That's actually, that kind of changed my mind a little bit, because that kind of, now that I think about it, after you pointed that out, that actually kind of says that they'll actually listen to players to improve what is being reported as shitty.
Yeah.
Dang, North. That's why we keep you around, bud.
Yeah, man. Also, just to bring people more up to speed, what the end game of Anthem is. So once you hit max level, you completed what is the story. I don't really know what the story is yet. The end game will consist of 3 strongholds, which essentially are not really like raids in World of Warcraft. It's a dungeon with an end boss. So you have 3 strongholds. You also get 1 daily mission that you can repeat over and over again in the span of 24 hours. And then you have free play, which is you go out in the world and you fly around and hopefully find something that you would like to do. Now, I haven't played a lot of these types of games, but I think the amount of endgame content that is on launch is next to nothing. I think it's really shallow. And I honestly believe that they have to race against the clock to pump more content out for the game. Because once players hit max level and they decide that they're bored, it might be really difficult to come back.
Now that I thought about a little bit, basically just this picture, it sort of feels like it was going to be like a subscription game, because it has that expanded progression system. So they hope that people are going to play it like hell the next few weeks, and then they're going to have a stop. And then they're going to expand the progression system. So they're going to bring people back in because there's new stuff.
That's a real gamble, though.
Yeah, it is gamble, but because a lot of people have already seemed to buy or like bought the Origin Access, which is, I think this is what it's for, because you're gonna have the game regardless. But in my opinion, it's gonna hurt that they show this. Not everyone's gonna like look at it and be like, huh, maybe this is good. But I think they would have been better off having that element of surprise. They should like announce it every single time they do something amazing, and not like say this is our plan for the next few months.
The reason the roadmap exists is because players have demanded a roadmap for years. You're supposed to play this game on months on end. So please, Mr. Company who sells this game, tell me why I should buy your game and play it on months on end. Please tell me before I make my sacrifice, my hard-earned money on your game. Convince me that there's going to be content for your game.
Yeah, but that's sort of like what Gradig said, that why not have all these features in the game already?
See, I think that's an entire different point. Like, I don't mind roadmaps. I think roadmaps are a good way of showing the community that there's a plan in place. What that content is another discussion. If it's either good content or shitty content, or something in between.
I think I think I was pretty well drew the same thing from it that you did, North, is like they're almost treating it more like a subscription based MMO because that's if you
Yeah.
if anyone's played like an MMO, you know that whenever a new X pack or even just the game comes out, there's really not a lot to do. They're wanting you to, they're kind of pushing you to exploring the world and getting more comfortable in the environment. Like I know whenever WoW X packs come out, there's only like 2 raids. There's like 4 dungeons and 2 raids, and it's that way for the first few months of the game. So I think that maybe that's kind of what they're wanting to do with this. Is they're like, okay, here's what you have, explore the world, get yourself familiar with it, and we'll whenever we feel like maybe you've experienced what we want you to, then we'll dump out more content for you to do.
Yeah, and this reminds me of Final Fantasy XIV, that the end game was that you had to do this sort of like weeklies to get that top tier items, and I calculated it's gonna take approximately like 3 months to get for one character all those best items. If you do all of them, of course, not everyone's gonna do all of them, but that gives the time to develop a new expansion pack, because they still want you to pay money to play the game, even though you're just going to do those weekly things, but they don't want you to give up that sub there.
I think the problem here with Anthem is that they've never marketed it as an MMO.
Well, yeah, because it's not. It's looter shooter.
Yeah.
But that's probably why the roadmap, even though they haven't given us any more than just the initial date, but they've already given us the first release, of course, which is the 22nd, and they're already saying if they do it on the 1st, it's barely a week out, not even a week out that they're saying that they're going to dump out more content. So it's interesting that they would even do that. It almost seems a little pointless to release a game and then just within the next month put out more content, because I know usually for MMOs it's closer to like 4 to 5, sometimes 6 between major content updates. So I'm curious how long they want to string this out, but unfortunately we only know February and March.
See, I would still say that an MMO is a little bit different. I would say that MMOs have more things to do, and MMOs are more like community driven.
Yeah, for sure. So that's the thing, is we don't know. I mean, even though Tumalo has played it, we really don't know how it's going to play out whenever the masses play it. So I know that there's some games that are okay whenever you play them, but whenever you play them with friends or a multitude of people, it just kicks it up to another level. I mean, there's a lot of games that I don't like to play by myself, but as soon as some like 1 or 2 friends are like, hey, we haven't played this in forever, I'm all about it. And maybe that's what Anthem will turn into. I don't know.
Yeah. Like I haven't played the game, but I watched a little bit this morning, and I feel like since I haven't played, I can't say for sure, but in my opinion, the enemies seemed kind of dumb. They were just standing around. Like I saw this dude, he saw the enemy standing right there, like shooting at something, and he would just stand still, aim, gun with no recoil, dead. Like that's what it's essentially gonna be over and over again. But you have to make it interesting. How are you gonna make it more interesting?
Yeah,
in the long run, it's gonna be boring.
My entire time with Anthem was boring.
Yeah,
I really have no interest of hopping in a javelin and going to point A and shoot some bad guys and go to point B and shoot some bad guys and then go to point C and shoot some bad guys and get a reward for it. It's really fucking boring. So I mean, if your core gameplay is simple, like hop from point A to point B to point C, if that is simple and you don't have like any twists and turns, then the actual gameplay has to be interesting. I mean, I didn't enjoy Destiny either. Like, I don't like looter shooters. The most enjoyable part of Destiny for me was the PvP, by far. So I mean, and Anthem doesn't even have that. And I don't mind like every game doesn't have to have PvP. So for me, Anthem is just. I honestly believe that it's just really boring. And I don't know, like a game with this sort of gameplay loop, I feel like it needs more content. Because there's going to be a subset of players who are going to rush the game through. They're going to hit max level in like, I don't know, 10 minutes after launch. And then they're going to do the end game content. And they're going to be done that with like, like a minute. And then they're going to be starving for content. They got the best javelins, they got the best gear, and they don't know what to do anymore. So they fly a lot around in the world and get bored, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I think we'll just have to see how they change it. I mean, maybe that first quality of life thing is going to be just making a better game.
Yeah, man. Maybe quality of life just means like better game.
Yeah.
Like they're going to overhaul everything.
That would definitely improve quality of life if they just made it good.
If stuff goes like we plan to stuff go for the next month, we might have a person here to talk about Anthem a bit more who's actually going to play the game. I'm interested in hearing about the actual gameplay loop and how what the game feels like for a person who's put 15-20 hours into it. And if the game has any semblance, any shred of the BioWare storytelling left in it.
I'm kind of curious to see how well they're gonna sell, especially now that the Apex Legends was released so close to it. And it's a free game and it's a pretty good game. And
about Anthem and their sales. So EA is expecting Anthem to sell between 5 and 6 million copies in 6 weeks, which is
pretty
tall
huge.
Fucking order.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens. I don't see that many sales happening within that short of time.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
I wonder if they're gonna count for the Origin Access sales. How is that gonna be? Is it every person that buys Origin Access within that 6 week? Is it gonna be that they're gonna include that basically sold copy?
See,
well, they can
for the shareholders, a sold copy means $60.
Yeah.
A shareholder doesn't care how many copies. The shareholder cares how much money they make.
Yeah, but they'll probably keep track of downloads.
For sure.
From that and count and loop that in as well. I'd say that's probably how they'll handle the Origin Access.
Yeah, for sure. But it's just to keep in mind, like the amount of players does not correspond to the amount of sold copies. And a shareholder does not care about how many players there are. A shareholder cares about how much money they made. I mean, that is the purpose of a shareholder.
Because they like money.
I mean, yeah.
American.
They sure do. But yeah, if stuff goes the way we want it to go, we might have a person next month here on the podcast to talk about Anthem with more authority, at least, on what the game is.
So what's next? What is the next?
Yes. Let's move on.
It's gonna be
NVIDIA. Yeah, well, the bad part is that none of us have played Anthem, so it's like that was like 20 minutes of speculation.
That's true.
So keep that in mind. Mostly Gorbish for some reason. I don't know why I'm talking directly to you, but keep it in mind, Gorbish. That was mostly speculation.
Keep it in mind, yeah. So why we're talking about NVIDIA?
Because they suck. That's not true.
Because the CEO of NVIDIA, whose name is I can't find it quickly here in the
Jensen Huang. I probably butchered that name.
Jensen Huang. He's warning that NVIDIA is going to have an extraordinary, unusually turbulent, and disappointing Q4. Q4 is almost over, so I think, essentially what Jensen Huang is saying is he blames the cryptocurrency, or the crash rather of the cryptocurrency, and in my mind I kind of read between the lines, and he's maybe blaming a little bit on the consumers for not buying their overpriced cards, which is sad for me to see. I like NVIDIA cards, but holy fuck, they are expensive.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with them that it probably is, almost directly because of the crash. And due to, Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies and stuff, the cards were just way overpriced because of that. So obviously that's, that's on them for overpricing their cards to, what's the word? Direct their product to a certain client, which is miners. And, they're reaping what they sow now.
Yeah, I think what they should have done was look at the cryptocurrency surge of buying their cards as a blessing and not like a new standard. Like they should have been like, oh yeah, we're making all this money right now. We might as well enjoy it while we can. Not like as soon as the golden goose quits pooping out eggs, be like, crap, well, it's your fault. What?
Yeah, it's never a good idea to price your products based off of a volatile economy, basically, like cryptocurrency. So especially one like that where it had such a huge spike in such a short amount of time. Like it was clear to anyone, I think, that it wasn't going to stay there. So
damn, Trevor should be the economist for NVIDIA.
Yeah, should be the CEO.
But I want to
speak out
for
Huang.
Yeah,
Trevor's
coming for you, Huang.
But I want to a little bit speak for the average consumer. I think NVIDIA did a bad job telling us why we should buy the cards. Like, if they would give us a good reason why, I might consider upgrading my system. But for instance, I have no idea what is ray tracing or what's the so-called miraculous AI. What is it gonna do? If I put the card in there, what is it gonna do? Is it gonna give me more FPS? Is it gonna give me better looking graphics? What is it gonna do? I'm not gonna spend money on something that I don't know about, and I don't want to spend time researching about it because I'm not gonna upgrade my system right now, so I'm not even interested in looking what's it gonna do. So I think they should have explained it better. Why is it better? Why should we care about those things that you're presenting to us and making us pay for? And they only have one game right now that makes use of that, and it's Battlefield 5. And I'm not even interested in Battlefield 5.
They have a little more games now.
Yeah,
but Exodus is one of them. By the way,
when this came out, they didn't have.
Oh yeah, when the RTX things was the RTX cards came out, only Battlefield 5 supported it.
Yeah, so why should I care about upgrading my system? Why should I buy those cards? I don't see the reason. They should have made a better point, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, at that point, when only one game supports your new technology, it's pointless to buy that card, especially if you don't play that one game.
Yeah.
Well, whenever a company like that releases a brand new card at like a $1,200 or $1,300 price point, they're not releasing that card for us. I mean, it's for developers, like indie developers, because they have to have the card to develop for it. It's for people who have too much money and just like being on the bleeding edge of technology. I mean, you laugh, but that's what it is. I mean, yeah. I know people that are like that. Like, I'll buy this for $1,300 for 6 more frames a second and ray tracing. What a deal!
Yeah, because if you don't have any other hobbies and you go to work and you don't have technically anywhere to put your money, some people invest in their cars, some people to their computers.
But it's not for your everyman. I mean, I probably won't have a card until the second or third generation of ray tracing.
Yeah.
Because that's whenever they'll finally start putting out their I'm sure they'll call it something different, but essentially their TI line of that, which will be, a more budget version of their performance cards. So, I mean, that's whenever I'll start digging into it. But until they make a card that's priced for your everyday Joe, this Joe will not be buying. And then I slap like the pun. Thanks. Then I slap a little stamp on it. It's like not okay.
I mean, the CEO also pointed out of economic uncertainties and a number of deals that did not close in the last month of the quarter as driving factors for reducing estimates in a sector that he admits he is already unpredictable by default. So I mean, like this has nothing to do with consumers. Essentially, if they just couldn't make the deals, or the economic uncertainties is not really our fault either.
Yeah.
And I mean, a huge issue, like, or not issue, but a reason why a lot of companies are dropping in stock value and stuff is also credited to the economic uncertainties. I mean, sure, probably some of it is, but looking at these, especially game companies that are dropping in stock, I would not blame economic uncertainties. I would blame bad business decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that too, because like gaming industry is growing business. Why would you go down if you're growing always and if you're selling the equipment for it?
Yeah. I think that this is more a lesson to them whenever you stop marketing to your actual moneymakers. I mean, that's whenever you are a company that puts out hardware for gaming and you stop marketing that hardware to gamers, then you've just lost sight of the goal. In my opinion. Of course, that's not a money-making opinion, but that's my opinion.
I mean, I have to think that, like, gamers are the ones that are buying NVIDIA products. We must be the biggest customer base, right? I mean, sure, there's indie devs and other devs and those on the bleeding edge of technology, but they can't be the core group of your consumer base, right? Because
I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, you got to think something like there were like companies out there, like companies that just they mined for Bitcoin and stuff like that, and they were buying them by the thousands and thousands, and they burn up and they just buy thousands more, and they had big factories just full of computers. It was just mining. So obviously they were making they had enough customers doing that to drive the price point up a lot. My question now is do you think that they're going to drop the price of them, or are they going to try to keep them the same, even though the mining is kind of died down a little bit? Do you think they're going to fluctuate at all with their pricing?
Sure hope they drop them.
I don't think they will, only because now it's not like a weird flux, because cards have been the price that they have for a while now, and they've been kind of in the same price range. So now they're like, well, I mean, high prices are what people expect now, so we don't have to turn it back down. It's kind of like whenever, and loosely the same, whenever gas prices skyrocketed in the U.S., airplane tickets skyrocketed as well because they have to use gas. But whenever gas prices went back down, well, people were already used to paying as much as they were for airplane tickets, so they didn't feel the need to drop the price. And it's the same thing here. Now we are acclimated to seeing $8, $9, $1,000 cards, so they don't see any reason to drop the price.
Are we acclimated though? Because I just
paid
go
like
to computer.
$900 for a card.
Well, I paid it because it was all I could do was, because that's all they had was, $900+ cards or whatever. Unless, I could buy cheaper, but, I need the best of the best. But when I was doing research, trying to find a card, everything I was reading was people saying you should probably wait. The price is overpriced right now because of bit mining and all this shit and whatnot, right. And just wait it out. But obviously you can't just wait a year or two when you're trying to build a PC now. And but they were saying. So are we acclimated to it, or because everything I saw, people were complaining about it?
Well, I think that's part of it though. Is like that is actually just kind of more proof that we are acclimated to it, because even though you were told to wait, you're like, I need it now. And that's what they're going to do. Even though the majority may end up waiting, they're still going to have a good chunk of people that can't. So even though there's, let's say even just 60%, 60-70%, and I feel like that's probably even high, of people do wait. So that's still like 30% of sales that they get it at full price. And they're still going to make, whatever profit they're going to make off the people who don't wait. And then they're still going to make profit off the people who do, just less.
So I was thinking about that. Who makes which cars is in the Xbox and PS, the newest generation?
Those are AMD cards, right?
Yeah, but I was thinking if NVIDIA was trying to create a new norm, having that AI and ray tracing in games, they could easily sell their cards to PS, the next generation PS or the next generation Xbox.
See? Console plebs can't have that.
But they could sell those cards if the ray tracing and the AI they're using becomes a new norm. They're gonna have to have it on their new games.
I mean, because NVIDIA was the first one with the ray tracing, it's only a matter of time before AMD catches up again.
Right.
Yeah, but they're a step ahead. They're the original.
Oh yeah, I mean
creator.
they're a step ahead now, but I don't think AMD is far behind.
Yeah, but I do see what you're saying is like, by them, even though console gamers don't buy video cards, consoles still have to have cards. So yeah. I mean, whatever bang for your buck they can get out of those, they'll win the consoles. And that, yeah. I mean, that is I think that's probably just as much money as selling it is to PC gamers.
Yeah, and they could easily make like RTX 2060 on the newest PS or the Xbox.
I mean, we'll just have to wait until they unveil the PS5 to see the specs on it. I mean, yeah. I do think that it's a huge deal for both AMD and NVIDIA to kind of win that bid, I would say. Because, I mean, even if you sell, I don't know, 20 million units of, I don't know how many units a console actually sells, but whatever units, it's cash for them, right?
Yeah, and I think AMD just came out with the, was it Radeon 7 or something like that? They could put that in the next generation PS or the Xbox, like downgraded one. That one is, I would say, it's too expensive for a console.
Yeah, I mean, you can never have a. I mean, imagine the shit show if Sony comes out and see, look at this PS5, it's gorgeous, it's only $1,300.
Yeah,
but there would be still people that would buy it.
Oh, of course, but I mean, and that's why Sony employs way more smarter people than us that try to calculate what the right price for a console is. I mean, we saw how the PS3 failed because it was $600 versus the Xbox 360 that was $400, if I remember correctly. And the
Yeah,
PS3 failed.
Why would you make only one console? Why not have like now there's PS4 and PS4 Pro?
I mean, they always start with one though.
Yeah.
Because they don't want you to split up your money. I mean, that's what it is. The less options they have, the less investment they have, and you're going to buy it either way. So, not you specific. I don't mean like North. You're going to buy it, but you know what I mean.
You're
Like,
gonna
people
buy
are
it.
going to.
But if they know there's a certain group of people that would pay, let's see, like 1,300 for a PS, why not create it and sell it for those who want it?
I mean, they're kind of doing it with bundles.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the PS4 basic and just that, and it's whatever, and then you have the PS4 with 2 controllers, or the PS4 with this and this game, PS4 with this webcam, PS4 with this bigger hard drive, PS4 with, I don't know, inflatable sex doll.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely something there.
I'm just
The
talking
sex
about
doll.
the initial price point, because at least at this point, every time they unveil the console, they usually have 1 or 2 prices. There's the base price, and then there's the bigger hard drive price.
Yeah.
And I remember when the PS3 was unveiled and it was $600, and people were completely shitting on it. And it did fail. I don't care how many units it sold, it did fail. The marketing failed for it. So imagine if they unveil the PS5 and the cards they're selling, they're in the thousands of dollars, like $1,000, $1,001, $1,002. Imagine if the PS5 is like $1,300. I mean, the internet would fucking explode.
Yeah. I think the draw to consoles is kind of in their affordability.
Yeah.
So and that would completely shit on that. I mean, you could build a perfectly fine gaming machine for $1,300. It wouldn't be top of the line, but if you looked around and did your digging and did your research, you could build a perfectly fine gaming machine for $1,300.
Yeah.
So I think that if they did that, it would not only just be a slap in the face to people who were exclusively console, but it would actually just push more people away from console gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Goddamn garbage.
Yeah, he said he spent $3,000. I think altogether, my current build was like 1900, something like that.
Yeah,
Mine
I
was
paid for
13.
paid for my current build. I think 2,000 something, but I did not build it myself.
Mm.
It's
Yeah,
the
mine was
first PC I
approximately-
bought, like pre-built.
Mine was approximately 2,500 around there, maybe a little less.
North, you wanna tell us what yours was?
I just told it, it's 1,300.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear you. Oh, well, there you go, $1,300. That's the perfect example then.
Yeah.
So then the question becomes, would you ever buy a console for that amount of money?
No.
It would have to literally suck my dick for me to get a console for $1,300. It would have to do favors. But there is no earthly way that I would pay that much for a console.
Yeah, like some use the Xbox as glorified media station. What's Netflix if you don't have a
Right.
smart TV?
And that's how...
I mean, like, I'm not gonna speculate on the PS5 or any other console that's upcoming, but certainly I think that we're, if not next generation, then the generation after that, we're going to go away from traditional consoles. And what a console is going to change. So it's not going to be just a gaming machine anymore. I mean, they're not anyway anymore. Even more so, they're going to move away from just playing games.
Yeah.
Xbox
I mean, that's...
TV.
Well, I wouldn't be shocked if in the near future, maybe not the near future, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if there was something that came out kind of like a smart TV, but with a console built into it.
Yeah, because the TV already has like a processor. You should just have a different one.
Yeah.
So there you have it. The PS5 will be a TV.
I think that would be. I would consider buying that, depending on how good the TV is. What the fuck would I do with my
current TV?
It's gonna be.
Sell it, dude. You don't need it.
It's gonna be like the Switch, and it's just gonna have like buttons on the side of it. You hit.
It's like a 50-inch, and you're like, ah.
It's just a giant touch screen.
Yeah, but that's sort of what Apple did back in the day when they put like that huge screen, and it's a PC itself. Yeah. They don't have to sell screens separately. They can just sell that huge unit because you're still gonna have them together.
And I know that the thing that really pushed the sales for the PS2 and eventually the PS3 after its first price drop was the fact that it wasn't just a console. Whenever those consoles released, they were the cheapest media players on the market. Like that, the PS2 was the cheapest DVD player you could get. I don't know by how much, because that was a long time ago and I'm old. The PS3 was the cheap after the first price drop. I need to specify because $600 was not. But the PS3, whenever it dropped to like $350 and $400, I think were the price points. That was the cheapest Blu-ray player by like $100.
Yeah,
I remember that. So
I know a lot of people that did. I know people that didn't even play video games that bought a PS3 because it was the best alternative for a Blu-ray player. And if something like that is included with the PS5, I mean, that could be the case again. I don't know what it would be, but
they're gonna have Alexa implemented in the next PS.
Yeah, that would be interesting if they kind of already have that. It's just really bad. I tried to use the voice stuff for my PS4. It's bad.
Oh.
Yeah, they'll come out with 8K TVs and 8K movies, and then the PS5 will be 8K supportive.
That wouldn't shock me.
Why not?
I think they already have 8K. I think I saw one on Amazon.
Yeah, they got a few 8K things, but
why would you ever buy that?
Few.
Because 4 is not enough, Tamara.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
but why?
I need 8,000 Ks.
Okay.
I know I saw one on here somewhere. It was a ridiculous amount of money. I don't know. It's not worth it. It was expensive though.
Probably, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, NVIDIA is failing as a company. Hopefully they're bounce back from that.
Yeah.
Need to make 8K cards to come back.
Yeah.
People
are not buying our cards in the current price range, so we're gonna put out cards that are $3,000.
3,000? That's a deal. So I finally found an 8K TV from Best Buy.
Is it fake news?
No, it's an 85-inch it's a 85-inch LED UHD TV with HDR, 8K. $15,000.
Okay.
On the bright side, it's only $625 a month. That's a bigger payment than what I had on my brand new car.
Yeah.
Like whenever I bought my car like 5 years ago, that is a bigger payment than I had on my car.
That's like 3 times the payment that I'm on my car.
Yeah, it's twice of mine for sure. Now, granted, this is only 24 month, where mine was like a 5-year loan, but still $15,000.
Like 15. Back when I worked my customer service job, I made about $20,000 a year, and to even like think about a TV that costs $15,000 is absurd to me.
Yeah,
that's almost a year of your work.
Yeah,
just dedicated just to the TV.
And I could totally live 12 months with $5,000.
Guys. On the bright side, the Geek Squad protection plan for 5 years is only $1,700.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, where they got you on one end, they're giving it right back to you on the other. That's so affordable.
Damn.
Gosh, that's so much.
Just imagine someone
you need a
bought all
payment
that.
plan for the insurance too.
Dude, yeah, that's probably. I guarantee someone owns this TV. It has 3 reviews.
Are they all 5 stars?
No. Oh, I'm sorry. It has 2 reviews. There is 1 5-star and 1 1-star.
Oh my god.
Have had this TV for about a month. I love it. The picture is so lifelike, and the colors and contrast make you feel like you are there with 4K or better content. What better content? Who puts out 8K content yet?
Man, that's what I was going to say. I wonder what content they're watching that is 8K, because the only thing I can find that's like 8K is like there are some YouTube videos that are 8K. But other than that, like,
and now
it'd be funny if they were watching 4K stuff and like, this shit's so much better than 4K.
Now, I know that, like, in a lot of cases, it's kind of like just with a plain HD. Even if it's not HD, in this case, it's not 8K, it'll still look better, but it's not. Yeah. It's not. I mean, you're not really... So here's the 1-star. It's pretty short, so I'll read it in its entirety. And this is an Elite Plus member. Ooh-wee. Oh, wow. Carrying a lot of weight. Looked fantastic. Loved the remote. That's really random. Okay. The upskilling worked good. I think it will get better. I had to return. It blew up after 3 days? Guys, don't buy this 8K TV. It's literally a bomb.
Oh, man.
This box, and then in parentheses, 1 Connect, is huge and runs real hot. That's the end of it. Man. Okay. They did specify that whenever they say blew up, they mean it had no picture or sound. So it just stopped working as a functioning TV.
Oh, so it did not blow up.
It did not literally blow up.
Why describe it as a bomb then?
Had to return. It blew up after 3 days, question mark?
Well, they had an 8K for 3 days.
That's true.
I don't trust those reviews.
They were living like Larry for 3 days. For sure.
I don't trust them.
Anybody who says that their TV blew up.
You can like replace the window with that TV and just have a scenery in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Why
have you seen that TV? Have you seen that TV that's like I don't know, it's like, I don't know, that thick. And like basically you can just like put magnets on the wall and it's just magnetized on the back. You just slap it on the wall and it's like $8,000, but it looks fucking awesome. It's literally like this, like you can like fold it.
Oh, it's one of those folding ones.
No, I haven't seen
well, I mean, you can't fold it, but it bends.
Yeah, it's like it gets curved.
Nah.
That's cool.
Yeah, you can curve it, I guess. But I've seen people like they show like they just slap it on the wall and it looks like a window. Like they, put a scene from the outside and shit, and like you can just be like, oh, I'm in my office that's wallless or windowless and be looking at the Rocky Mountains out there.
Here I can watch stuff.
That's the future. That's literally from an episode of Star Trek.
Yeah.
I would have it like one of those horror movie, like a zombie apocalypse, and there would be this misted window and like zombies touching the window. That would be awesome.
Yeah, but not $8,000 worth awesome.
No.
Yeah, I think they said if you take a pencil, the pencil's thicker than the TV is.
Damn. Oof. What a day to be alive, I mean.
How did we even get on TVs? What is going on here?
It doesn't matter.
That was NVIDIA, guys.
Oh yeah, NVIDIA. F them.
F them, yeah. Until they have a price drop.
I mean, yeah, I've pretty much bought exclusively NVIDIA cards for forever, but F them.
F them. Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
I'm sure the next card I buy will be NVIDIA, but they can suck my butt. Yeah. I mean, they are expensive, and you do pay a premium, but, I mean, in the end, I think NVIDIA puts out a good product. So.
Oh, yeah, I mean, definitely.
So all in all, if they just change their marketing tactics, they'll be in a much better boat. I still think that they put out quality stuff at a premium price. So I'll keep buying it.
Yep. All right, let's move on. So now we're in the horror stories. So Germany is in a peculiar spot where they require their streamers to buy a radio license in order to continue streaming, because they've deemed streaming be a kind of like radio. Yes. So what is happening here is a German YouTuber and Twitch streamer called Yetzmiet has been told that he needs a license to continue streaming. Now the license is between 1,000 euros up till 10,000 euros, depending on the number of viewers, and he needs to get this. He needs to get this license until, I want to say, I remember it saying that he needs to get it before the end of March, or his channel will be shut down.
Told streaming channel Pitchmit TV it must obtain license by April 30th.
April, okay. And because he doesn't have this license, what the German law is essentially saying is that his Twitch channel is a pirate channel, which is weird, because he's not streaming music or movies. Now,
are they just going after him?
Yeah, so they're making him an example for some reason. I don't know why. And what makes this weird is because the chairman of ZAQ, which is the authority here, the Landesmedienanstalt, has said that the online streaming network is full of radio-like offerings. For this reason, the legislation should be amended as soon as possible. So, I mean, they want to change the law so that it would not target streamers like this. But I don't understand why they're targeting this one dude.
Well, you gotta start somewhere.
Oh yeah, obviously.
I guess so.
And if you
They're
take
probably.
yeah.
Oh, you can talk.
Yeah, but they have to have someone who's like big enough to make an impact. If you're just gonna bully that small guy, it's just gonna be like they got something against this dude.
I would think that they're probably doing it as a tactical way where they go after a small guy, and then if he fights it at all, if it goes to court at all or anything, and he loses, then they can use that precedent against any other case in the future and be like, this is, we're basing our case off this past case that, we won on or whatever. And it's probably best to do that with just one small person that can't afford anything or do anything than, do multiple people at once on a big court case kind of thing. That's me not being a lawyer or anything, but just my kind of average guy view. That's what I see.
Yeah, but what is the fastest? Like, they obviously want to change the law somehow, but what is the fastest way to change it? Is it to make an example case and somehow make him win, and then they would change the law?
No, I'm saying they're not trying to make him win. They're trying to. The government wants him to lose because then they get more money.
But they can change the law faster if he doesn't get sued. That's how I.
It seems like it seems like the German Broadcast Authority, which is this Landesmedienanstalt, is the one that has ruled that live streaming requires this license, and then the Commission of Admission and Supervision, which is this ZAQ, of media organizations then told Piet Smith that he must obtain this license between the April 30th. But that chairman of that admission and supervision wants this legislation to be amended as soon as possible.
Oh, okay.
Are you looking at the article that you linked us? Is that where you're getting some of this?
Yeah.
Well, I looked at the date. That article is like 2 years old, by the way. It's from 2017.
Oh yeah.
Well, fuck.
I wonder what happened.
Look at that.
But what I was gonna say is that I don't think them calling it, because I know whenever we discussed a little bit last time, them calling it a pirate service, a pirate radio, I don't think that's referring to like pirating music or playing music illegally. I think it's more in the actual traditional sense of being a pirate, in that you're just doing something without, any kind of regulation or supervision. Because I've been to Germany like twice, and they have very, very, very loose copyright laws. Like I went to a couple fests over there, and they just play music because they can. There's no one stopping them, so they play copyrighted music everywhere because there's no law stopping them. And now that may be different if you're broadcasting like this guy, but they do have really loose copyright laws in Germany. So I'd say whatever ended up coming of this, it's less about making sure he doesn't play copyrighted material, and probably more of them like seeing Twitch as another way to get revenue, because they're seeing it as kind of in the same vein as just radio broadcasting. Even if you're just doing like a podcast or a radio show that doesn't even have any copyrighted material in it, they're seeing this as just another way to get a little bit of money. Because even in the US, you have to have, even if you like broadcast your own music or just do radio shows, you still have to have like a broadcasting license.
Yeah, I mean, I know like broadcasting licenses are meant, at least here, if your audience is a certain size. Like, I can play copyrighted music anywhere, but once the amount of people hearing it goes above a certain threshold, then I need a license to do that.
Right. Yeah, there was actually a radio station in the town that I work that was like a pirate radio station, and they got shut down several times before finally giving up. Which was too bad, because they played really good, like really raunchy rap music. It was pretty sick. Which could also be why they got shut down.
So I guess there's no use of talking about this shit, because this is like Grady said, this is from 2 years ago. I don't know why the fuck this was a talking point on one of the subreddits I frequent, and why this particular article was linked there. But serves me right. I should probably watch the dates.
I tried to look up what was the outcome of that. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, me too. I couldn't find either. So
German viewers, let us know. Are you paying a fee?
They probably are not. I would assume.
But doesn't like taxis, if they want to play music, don't they have to like pay that license? At least I think I heard something like that.
Taxis?
Yeah, if you're in a taxi and you hear music from the radio, they have to pay a license so they're allowed to play your music.
I don't know. I mean, I would assume that would depend on country to country. Yeah. I mean, like depending on their copyright laws, I guess, and trademark laws and things like that. I mean, I
know that if you want to play radio or Spotify or whatever on a store, then you're supposed to have a license. But
that'd be so hard to enforce.
Yeah.
They just be like, oh, I'm not playing music, so they'd have to have undercover people go everywhere. Which they might.
But
yeah.
okay, since that thing got kind of shafted.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, better shafted than putting time on something that was completely useless. Let's move on what will be the last major story. Quite a bummer too.
Gorbash said Walmart has their own radio station to avoid licensing.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of music out there that you don't need a license to play.
Yeah. They're going to play all 1920s.
Twitch has an own like list of music that you can play on stream without ever fearing getting copyright striked.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I checked it out when the new TOS came out, and there was a huge scare that everybody's gonna get banned. But I mean, there's just shitty music there. Like, honestly.
All right then.
Okay. Let's keep the train rolling. So Activision Blizzard has been in the news a little bit here in the past few days because of an unfortunate fact that they're firing a lot of people. Remind me, how many was it? Okay, 800.
800?
Yeah.
Yep.
So this comes off the heels of Activision CEO Bobby, I will butcher his last name, Kotick, I don't know.
Bobby.
We'll call him Bobby. Bobby said in an investors call that Activision made record profits once again last year, but they're still gonna fire a bunch of people. And they are firing people from non-game development departments, and they're planning on bolstering the development departments for franchises like Call of Duty and Diablo. Presumably that means Diablo 4.
We know what they're getting.
Oh, yeah.
More developers for Diablo Immortal.
See, I will forever remember. People have forgotten already, but I will remember that the head honcho of Blizzard said during BlizzCon that they have mobile games of virtually every Blizzard IP in development. So look forward to that, people. It's not just going to be Diablo mobile, it's going to be all the mobiles.
As long as it doesn't take focus away from their actual games, I don't care.
Are all their mobile games outsourced to developers like in China and stuff, or is that?
I hope.
See, I believe that, like, even though they said that virtually every IP is in development as a mobile game, I don't believe that it's entirely true. I believe that there's probably plans for it, and I don't think Blizzard themselves will do them.
Well, whatever. I mean, in development is a pretty broad term.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think they could probably come up with just a name and a splash page, and that may even be going too far, and say that it's in development.
Mm.
But I think they made a good choice, like having them develop elsewhere, because if they release a mobile game, it's probably gonna get duplicated. Someone's gonna pick it up, make it a look like copy, because there's so many of them already.
Yeah.
Like, if they have it made it elsewhere, they're gonna save a lot of money, and if someone's gonna copy, it's not gonna be straight their product, even though it's still theirs.
Anyway, back a little bit more towards the. Oh, go ahead, Trevor.
I was going to say the article I'm looking at now says that Bobby Kotick drew a $1.75 million salary plus another $26 million in stocks, and Dennis Durkin, who is in charge of emerging business, was given 3.75 million cash bonus and another 11.3 million in yet unearned performance-based equity. So
wow,
they made a lot of money, and then fired everyone. And then it says, in contrast to that, in 2014, the Nintendo president Satoru Iwata, he took a pay cut when their business was doing bad. He took a pay cut so that they wouldn't fire anyone. So there's comparing their people. This article is comparing, those two drastically different situations.
Yeah.
Activision Blizzard also likes money.
Yeah. That's the difference between an executive who actually cares and an executive that actually cares about money. Now, Nintendo does misstep. In my opinion, and this is 100% opinion based, I think Nintendo is probably the purest game developer as far as practices go. I think that a lot of their missteps are accidental and they just misread what they should be doing. But I mean, stuff like that, you can't argue that they legitimately care about what they're doing.
I think you boys just don't believe in capitalism.
True that. My bad. I do love money. I don't necessarily think that it sucks. I mean, it sucks for 800 people to lose their jobs. I hate that those 800 people are now in a tough situation. But I don't necessarily think it's a bad sign if they made record profits like they're saying they did, and it sounds like they did if they're giving away that much money to their executives. But if they are legitimately letting go of those people so that they can focus more on developing and less on other BS, I think that's a good thing. And I'm hoping that the next thing we hear about Activision Blizzard is that they hired a few hundred developers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So what should be like the people who are getting affected here are departments such as publishing and esports. But they told in the investors call that they're going to bolster their development staff, which presumably means hiring developers. This also during this investors call earnings call. Well, basically the same thing. It was also announced that there will be no major Blizzard release this year. Means that no Diablo 4 this year, and maybe next year.
And that's not totally unheard of for Blizzard to go a year without any major releases. I mean, if you really think about it, Blizzard has 4 IPs, like 4 big ones, and it's not uncommon for them to go a year without releasing something for those.
And again, like I don't think this is a bad thing. If Blizzard wants to take 1 extra year to develop, or how many years, I don't care. I want them to make a product that is good on release, and not do the EA way, or even Activision way, of having a set window and the game comes out during that window, no matter in what state the game is.
I want them to make a new IP. That would be interesting. Because it's always the same stuff. I want to see something new.
I mean, I played only 1 Diablo game. And I've only played 1 Overwatch game. And I've never played StarCraft. And I don't really play a whole lot of Blizzard games. I'm interested in Diablo 4. I'm maybe one of 3 people on this earth that think Diablo 3 is pretty good.
But
I love Diablo 3.
I think it sort of makes sense that they're gonna fire a lot of people and hire more later on if they're making a new IP, because they don't want the same developers to have ideas from their previous games.
They're not firing developers.
Oh, they're firing just employees?
Other employees, yeah.
Non-development people.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. It's like it's not necessarily bad that they're kind of changing the trajectory or where they want to invest manpower. But I just hope that the next one is them not necessarily hiring 800 more developers, but a few hundred more developers would be a nice thing to see.
Yeah. I think this story can, be a good story or a bad story. Because if, in 6 months we hear, oh, they don't plan on hiring anyone at all. They just wanted to cut and save money and pay Bobby another $500,000 or something, then, that makes all the difference in how I feel about what is happening. But like you said, if they hire another 100 developers or something like that, then I'm like, oh, well, maybe it was worth it. It sucks for those 800 people losing their jobs, but I don't know what jobs were cut, I
mean, the cynicism of the gamer community is what it is. It's whenever any sort of this sort of story comes out, people jump on the hate train without really maybe realizing what they're hating. Because I mean, any company cuts people for any number of reasons, and I don't personally remember a day when profit-seeking companies were charities. I mean, they're off to make money, right? And if they're cutting departments that are not profitable anymore, then I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, not necessarily even that the publishing department probably made no profits, but they served a purpose. And once they cease to serve that purpose, they're cut. I mean, and yeah, it sucks that 800 people are losing their jobs, and because it'll hurt their economic life, obviously. But I refuse to criticize Activision on what seems to be a very cut and dry business move.
Yeah.
Somewhat related, am I the only one that didn't notice that Warcraft 3 is now on the Battle.net launcher?
You are the only one.
I didn't notice.
I think it came out like 4 months ago or something.
Yeah, it came onto the launcher during last BlizzCon.
Did it? Wow. I am blind.
Because you can pre-order it, I think.
Yeah, I knew it was already listed in their shop. I didn't realize it was already like on the little sidebar where you launch games. I didn't notice it was already there.
Does it have a release date there?
No, it just says pre-purchase. Let me see. Let me look at the actual page. It says December 31st, 2019, but I feel like that's a placeholder date, like Steam does.
Definitely. Why
Unless
would they
it's
need
on
a placeholder?
Unless it's on a Tuesday. Is December 31st on a Tuesday?
Why would
It is on a Tuesday. That could actually be the real release date.
Why would they release the game on the 31st of December, though?
That could easily be the actual release date, though, because Tuesdays is when they release their content. So that could legitimately be it.
No way is that happening. No way is that happening.
It actually says it again, too. So it says pre-purchase Warcraft 3 Reforged releases on or before. See, this is why you read the whole sentence, kids.
Oh, okay.
On or before December 31st. But it also, it says that same date again. Whenever it talks about the spoils of war, it says that will be available on or before December 31st. So, there you go.
So this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
no later than, according to that, on or before, so no later than this year.
So that means that Activision Blizzard doesn't think that Warcraft 3 Remaster is a major release.
I wouldn't say it is. It's a remaster.
I think it's something that people buy regardless of the time.
I think, honestly, Tumalo, I think the difference between a major release and a not major release is that this is only $30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's $30 for the standard and $40 for the special.
Okay, that makes
so I think that might be the difference between their major and not.
Makes sense. I mean, obviously, Warcraft 3 is an old game, and they're just re-releasing it, and a bit different from any other new game.
Mm-hmm.
I just want that new IP.
I was, and I still think it's a good IP. I would like to see some more stuff on it, but I was pretty excited whenever they finally released Overwatch as their newest IP. Because up until then, like the last IP they put out was like StarCraft, I think, before Overwatch was their last new IP.
That is
98 or 99 was their last IP before Overwatch. Assuming you don't count, and I wouldn't, assuming you don't count World of Warcraft and Warcraft 3 as two separate IPs.
31st March in 1998.
So, yeah. I mean, the gap between Overwatch and the previous new IP was 16 years. Because Diablo 1 had already been out by then. They had already had a couple Warcraft games. The Lost Vikings was already way out. So, that was their... Because I think didn't Overwatch come out in 2014 or was it 2015?
Was it 16?
Not 16.
It was 16. So
was it?
Yeah. So 18 years is how long it took them to release a new IP after StarCraft.
So they're not going to make a new IP, most likely.
Sorry.
They're not. And I mean, Blizzard really rides real hard with like existing IPs and their appeal.
Yeah.
But hopefully the people who are getting laid off of Activision get a new job as quick as possible.
Yeah, for sure.
I hope they get like
a
separation package or something. I don't know if it's common in the US.
It depends on the position. Most of the time, if they were just like, I don't want to say grunts or nobodies, but like,
but
if they
grunts or nobodies.
But grunts or nobodies. Yeah, peons, all of that. I mean, if you weren't important, you probably did.
Bobby would get
handshake. He would be set for life. That guy would get a severance package that would, like, if you don't know their name, they're probably not getting a severance package.
Probably. Yeah.
So.
Any more thoughts on Activision or Blizzard for that matter?
Fuck them.
Fuck them. Yeah. Fuck them.
Is that how we're just gonna end every segment now? Fuck them.
What's your profanity?
I like their games and I've bought every one of them, but fuck them.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with especially Blizzard. I mean, the fact is that they haven't released a game in a lot of years, and their next release will probably be Diablo Immortal, and the reception of Diablo Immortal is already really bad. So I'm really interested in seeing will it translate to a long-term damaged reputation for Blizzard. I don't think it will, but it might. And I don't believe Immortal has even a release date yet.
I think as soon as they announce Diablo 4, I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. You screwed us over with Immortal, but we forgive you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, if they kind of turn things around and redeem themselves, I don't see that as necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think they're just gonna point the market so that we don't see it. They're gonna have ads on mobile and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What is kind of weird with Diablo Immortal in my mind is they announced the game in November, and it still hasn't a release date. I mean, I don't remember like mobile games getting this sort of announcement. Like they care about it. That's what I'm saying. They want to be like excited about it, and they try to hype it up. Like this is this new exciting game. Like it doesn't have a release date, but it's coming out and it's on mobile, and like people we don't give a shit.
Yeah,
like it's a mobile game.
That's because Blizzard is the only company whose ego is so big that they don't see a mobile game as a side project. I mean, they do. They pretty much print money. Whenever Blizzard puts out a game, it's just printing money. And they have a big ego because of it, so that's the only developer that could like, hey, look, we printed more money, but for your phone. and no one wants that. No one cares. Mobile games don't deserve center stage, and they thought just because it was a Blizzard mobile game that it did.
Unluckily, though, Blizzard's CEO did leave, and some other high executive also left. The executive level of Activision has gone through some major restructuring, but we'll see what happens with them.
But fuck them.
But fuck them, yeah. That's the main takeaway from this.
Yeah.
Hey, dudes. Who wants to start? Should I start?
I'm probably gonna take a couple extra seconds during mine, maybe a couple extra minutes, because I'm excited for the Nintendo Direct. So I'll probably just go ahead and get mine out of the way. If everyone's cool with that.
Okay.
So I've been playing Kingdom Hearts 3 in the Messenger, and then I started Hex last time. I beat the Messenger, which the ending was what I was hoping, but I was excited. The end of that game is exactly what I was hoping it was going to be. I didn't expect it, but I was hoping. So if you haven't played the Messenger and you like really tough 3D or 2D platformers, it's a good game. I don't even want to say that much about it without giving it away, which unfortunately is going to be the same thing with the Hex, because it's another game that you just have to see it and experience it, or it's not going to be as good. So I've played the Hex for like 2 hours the other night. It's like a point and click adventure, in the same vein as Pony Island. So if you like Pony Island, you'll probably like the Hex. It's also kind of a shorter game. It's like 5 hours or something.
Made by the same guy.
Yeah. But it's like in the same. If you've played Pony Island, you'll know what I mean whenever I say it's in the same vein. And like I said, it's another game that I don't want to give away too much, or else it'll definitely spoil some of the fun. I've only gotten like 2 hours into Kingdom Hearts 3.
Damn
it. But I'm already enjoying it. I'm thoroughly liking that game. I know that a lot of people have been saying that if it took this long to make, it should be like phenomenal. But so far, I'm enjoying it pretty thoroughly. So I'm still in like the first world. I've already fought a couple bosses, and I'm liking it. So I know that some people said that it was kind of repetitive, because it's the exact same. It's pretty much an identical fighting, like a combat system to 2. And while some people are saying that, like I said, that's repetitive and they didn't like that, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
So
did they make you play for the first 6 hours as another character like they did in Kingdom Hearts?
They did not. And that was a pretty, I will admit that was like, it was pretty grueling the first time you play through it, but after you've played some of the side games, it's not as bad, because you just in 2 you just get dropped into this character that you've never heard of and have no idea why you should care about him, and that kind of sucked. But after you've played side games, and honestly, after you've played through 2 the first time, playing through the beginning of it again isn't that bad, because you're a little bit more. But yeah, it was dumb the first time.
They have a Final Fantasy in Kingdom Hearts, right?
Yeah. So
is one of the side games Blitzball?
No, thank God. There is a puzzle that randomly pops up that is similar to the Chocobo thing from 9, though. Oh. So I cleared an area of Heartless, and then it like does a little thing that, lets you know that the encounter's over. And then it just zooms in on a treasure chest that is in some nondescript location. And so it's kind of like the chocographs, where it just shows you a picture of where you need to dig. So it shows you like a nondescript location in the treasure chest that's there, and then you just have to find it. And the only thing it's in the relative area that you are in. So it's kind of like that. And there's a few other things like that. Like they've kind of built mini games into the gameplay. So like the very first boss you fight is the big Earth Titan from Hercules that they showed in all the like first demo gameplay footage, and you're riding around on this train, and during that part of the fight, even though it's like a finishing blow, you don't have to do it. You can just pound on them with your Keyblade, or you can get on that train, and then it turns into like almost like a rail shooter. So he's like punching at you, and you've got to shoot his fist out of the sky, and then he goes blah, and then you can shoot him in the head. And so they've kind of built like mini games into the combat, which I pretty thoroughly enjoy. And then for the Nintendo Direct thing, I'm all about Tetris. So I know that a lot of people laughed at it. I super love it. And there was a lot of games from that Nintendo Direct that I am really hyped about. The biggest one, other than Tetris, is that
Before you move on, how does the Tetris work? Like, 'cause I haven't seen any video of it or anything.
So have you ever seen Tetris Versus or anything like that?
I mean, I know basic Tetris.
Well, whenever there's like a specific game mode that they introduced some years ago that it's actually you playing Tetris against another person, and the more combos you get, it actually puts tetrahedrons on your opponent's side.
Okay.
So it actually will fill them up from the bottom. Okay. And that's what it is there's you and 98 other people. I think it's you and 98. I'm not sure if the 99 is everybody. It doesn't matter. Anyway, and then there's a line going from you to kind of your target. And as you clear lines and get combos, it starts filling up that person's line, like that person's stage. And so that just kind of keeps happening until it's just one guy. So it's Battle Royale Tetris, for those that don't know. If you like Tetris and the idea of a Battle Royale.
That actually sounds pretty fun.
Yeah, and you can, I guess, like, at the very beginning of the game, it shows who's all targeting you. And I guess you can actually change who you're targeting. So if you see, like, someone is just repeatedly hammering you, you can actually change your target to them to start knocking them out.
So can you have multiple people targeting one person?
Absolutely. There's some clips, and I don't know that I could find one offhand. Let me see. But it's based, like, there's one where the game starts and like 90% of the other people's lasers automatically go at you. Because like I said, at the very beginning, you see who's targeting you, and it's just like, and it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to die. But it does give you, it's not just like if everyone wanted to target you, you would just instantly be out. Because you see on the left-hand side of it, there's like blocks that are building up, and that's how many blocks are coming at you to stack you up. But if you do enough combos, you have a few seconds before they actually stack on you. So if you do combos, it'll actually remove those blocks from hitting you. So if you're good enough, you can keep yourself down while also hitting other people. So, and I've seen a lot of people that are still streaming it. I need to play it some more. I've only played it like once or twice. And I got like 15th on my first try, so I was pretty happy with that.
Pretty pro.
Are they going to do like teams where, like, you know, you and 3 other dudes can be on the same team?
I don't know.
And
Nintendo's really bad.
Have a VR game if it doesn't have solo queue, duo queue, and squad queue.
Yeah,
true that.
I need my Tetris squad.
Yeah, I wish, dude. I would play Tetris Squad so fast. You don't even know.
Yeah, man.
And it's free. So if anyone has a Switch, it is free. At the very least, you now have a free Tetris game on your Switch.
How does it work? Is it like Tetris? Isn't it like copyrighted? Do they pay license for it?
I mean, I'm sure they've been putting out Tetris games for forever.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not even...
There are fucking thousands of Tetris games.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even the first Tetris game that's come out on the Switch.
The guy who invented Tetris never got any money from Tetris because the Russian government owned Tetris.
Yeah.
Or the Soviet Union. I don't know who owns the trademark now. Or if it's even trademarked.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it is.
But the inventor of
but-
Tetris never got any money for it because the Soviet Union seized the property when it was made.
Yeah, even though it's the most successful selling game of all time.
Yeah,
by a huge margin. If you've never looked that up, you should. It is a huge margin between first and second for best selling game of all time.
Everybody's played Tetris.
Yeah. I don't know anyone who hasn't played at least one game of Tetris. I bet North is about to say he's never played Tetris.
No, I have played Tetris.
Okay. I didn't want to have to leave the call in a huff. So one other thing from the Nintendo Direct that I want to say, and then I'll be done. But the remaster, and I don't even know if I would call it a remaster, because I feel like a remaster is almost like a reskin, like an updating of its actual graphics. But they're remaking Zelda Link's Awakening, which was the first handheld Zelda, and it is my favorite Zelda game.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I don't even like Zelda games that much, but this one is awesome. So I'm super pumped for it because it's got like a really kooky sense of humor. It has all kinds of other Nintendo Easter eggs in it. Like at one point you have to play a claw machine to get a Yoshi stuffed animal Yoshi to give to a little girl, so she'll give you dog food so you can go feed it to a chain chomp. So there's all kinds of, and there's even an enemy that looks vaguely like Kirby that is called not Kirby. So there's all kinds of, and I just love it. Like there's parts in the levels where it goes from being the top-down game where you're like underground, and there's just straight up Goombas, and there's a rock feather that gives you the ability to jump, and you jump on Goombas. If that's not badass, I don't even know what to tell you. So I'm just super pumped for my favorite Zelda game to finally get something like that. So that's the end of me. I'm done.
Okay. I could talk about Metro for a while. Metro Exodus came out yesterday. Exclusively on the Epic Store. Will be on Steam though in 1 year. So if anybody like watches any sort of Metacritic or any other user score for Metro Exodus, it looks poor, and that is the reason. I think Metacritic, Nostra told me today on stream that Metacritic said that it was 5.1, I think. And that is not reflective of the quality of the game. Metro Exodus is very good, even though Jim Sterling hated it.
Well, he hates a lot of things.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I like the guy, but I don't agree with everything. So Metro Exodus is the third game in the Metro series. I like the Metro series, but this is the first game that goes way more open world than what the previous games were. Previous games were really confined linear games. In this game, they present areas where you can walk anywhere and do like side missions and stuff, and then the actual like plot stuff. And on your way, you shoot humans and monsters and try to survive in this kind of survival horror type situation. The horror is not really horror, like truly. It's more the survival aspect and being sneaky. I like the game. It looks pretty. It's a little bit janky here and there, and apparently it looks like shit on stream because of screen tearing and stuff. And yeah, I mean, I can show you actually on the thing how it looks on. Go over here and.
Do you have the clip?
I can show you the clip.
While you're pulling that up, did you guys see it was posted in the No Pants Discord? Did you guys see the picture of the case? It just straight up had a sticker.
Yeah,
over.
I saw that.
It was covering
Voyager.
up the part that said sold on Steam.
Yeah,
I thought that was too funny.
that is pretty funny.
Yeah,
But
I mean
that's what happens when you decide to
yeah.
turn your back on
at the last minute.
Fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it shows the back of like the physical copy case, and there's just a sticker over the whole part that says Steam. And It says Epic.
I mean, yeah, but it's true. That's what happens when you pull out the game like last minute. But yeah, this is the clip that Nord was talking about. So this was from today's clip. Stream.
Oh yeah.
Holy fuck! There's a lot of them. What the fuck?
Looks like you need to fix your tracking on your VCR there.
That's a lot of enemies.
Yeah, there was a lot of zombies there.
It's a lot of screen tearing.
Yeah, so the game like it looks shit on stream. It doesn't look like that on my screen. And apparently it's the game that cannot really handle streaming. Now a viewer of mine posted some tricks I can use to try to fix it. But yeah, it doesn't look like that at all on stream. I mean on my screen, but it looks like shit on stream.
It's not super bad when you're standing still, but when you move the camera, it shows the tearing.
Well, yeah. I mean, still image is a still image.
Yeah.
Moving around is a little bit different. But the game is good. I really like it. And I really I mean, I recommend all the Metro games. I think they're really quality and very rarely talked about games.
They're on my list to play.
What?
I said they're on my list to play. Haven't played any of them.
Right now, I think you can get both of the first games, the remastered one, for like $5.
Yeah, the Redux.
I've seen multiple sales.
Their scores on Steam are also very poor right now because people review bombed them because of the Epic Store exclusivity. But yeah, Metro's fucking cool. I like it a lot.
I think it's stupid that they give shit to Steam and Metro, but I think Epic Games is also to blame.
I don't think anybody has given shit to Steam.
Yeah. But like, I think we should look more towards the who provided this situation to us that we can't buy the game on Steam anymore.
Oh, it's Koch Media and Deep Silver.
Yeah.
Have you guys looked? The page for Metro Exodus is actually still up on Steam.
Oh, does it still say the things?
Yeah, and it is just like throwing mad shade. It says, we think the decision to remove the game is unfair to Steam customers, especially after a long pre-sale period. We apologize to Steam customers that were expecting it to be available, blah, 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 but we were only recently informed of the decision and given limited time to let everyone know. So yeah, it still has like a whole, that's only one part of it. There's like 3 little segments, but yeah, it's still up there and they're...
Damn, I thought they took it down. But
no,
yeah, they're throwing mad shade.
Yeah. Sales of Metro Exodus have been discontinued on Steam due to a publisher decision to make the game exclusive to another PC store. The developer and publisher have assured us that all prior sales of the game on Steam will be fulfilled on Steam, and Steam owners will be able to access the game in any future updates. So, that's interesting. So if you already bought it on Steam, you get it from Steam. But if you didn't, you have to buy it from Epic. That's interesting.
I bought it on Epic.
That's very big of Steam to even let that happen.
I'm pretty sure it's part of the contract. Like, if you buy something from there, you have to be able to play it from there.
Well, but they could just as easily just refund your money.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
They could.
And I would assume that that's what they would do. Because now if someone looks up Metro Exodus on Steam, then they're still going to see it. Or if they just look up Metro at all,
it's almost like still getting advertised for Epic by Steam in a roundabout way.
If someone were to ask, why didn't you refund the money to people? I think they would say, I like money.
Mm-hmm. They're American based. It's true. They're in Seattle. I love money.
I mean, yeah, I think it's not refunding was the right way for Steam to handle it. It's way more consumer friendly that way.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you did pre-order the game from somewhere.
For sure.
And the place you bought it from did not go bankrupt, so why wouldn't you get your product? But yeah, Metro is good though. I fucking love it. I wholeheartedly think that anybody who likes like first-person shooters should try at least the franchise. It's very Fallout and Stalker-esque. The third game especially is really Stalker-esque. I never played the Stalker games, but I do know what they are and how they look. And other people have also commented that it really reminds them of Stalker. And somebody made the joke at some point that this is the Fallout game that we deserved.
Brutal.
Yeah, let's talk about Apex.
Do you want to talk about The Witcher 3 first, North, and then we can all chime in on Apex?
Yeah, do that.
Aren't we all supposed to talk about games we played? Or not?
You don't have to talk about Witcher or Apex.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to.
Yeah, but I want to.
Oh, then do.
Fucking go.
Yeah, I played Witcher 3. I haven't played it before.
Burn him at the fucking stake. He hated The Witcher 3. You heard it here first. He hates video games. North is not a part of No Pants anymore. He hates everything.
Wow. I thought we were friends.
I gotta say that the controls were definitely weird and something that you have to get used to. I tried it on Xbox controller, but I feel like they're missing buttons there. Like not everyone.
You're missing buttons.
Not everything was there. At least that's what I felt like, and it was horrible to get used to using keyboard. Like it took time. I tried. There's like multiple ways to move around. There's like standard and alternative, and I couldn't tell a difference. Like what did it do? It still felt the same. But since it started with alternative, I went with that. And I felt like the camera was janky and it always got up to some corner and I have to like move around. And if I want to move like forward or like turn my character a little bit, if I would press go left, it would go all the way left. And if I would want to go like a little bit that way, it would go all the way that way. Like there's no middle ground. I can't go 45 degrees. It always goes either 90 or 180, and it feels janky.
I have no idea what you're talking about, dude.
But then I actually found out how to use that. You don't use like ASD almost at all. Just use the W and use the camera to move around. That I sorted it out how to use it, and it got a lot easier. But still, I feel like the combat system is weird. There's too much things to do. Like you have your trouble grenades, you have your health, and you have your parry, and then you have your I want to call shouts, but they're not shouts. The magic
tricks.
Yeah, the magic tricks, and it's just too much. Maybe because I haven't played piano or something. I don't know. Like
fuck,
my fingers just won't do it.
You have you just never played an RPG game, man. Come on.
I've played multiple RPGs.
I would agree with North on the controls.
Yeah,
they're fucking bastard. What the fuck did you say, motherfucker?
Damn.
They are kind of weird, but you get used to it. I played it like 2 to 3 hours by now. Not a whole lot for a Witcher game yet. But I really do enjoy the story. I watch all the cutscenes. I'm very well known for skipping all the possible cutscenes on every freaking game. but I actually enjoyed watching those cutscenes, and it's enjoyable.
You like those
Especially the
cutscenes
side
because
missions.
there's boobies.
I would say
That too.
with The Witcher, I feel like kind of what North said. Like, I just think when it comes to controls, there's just too much. Like, I played it on the PS4, so I had a controller when I played it, and like it seemed like when I wanted to fight things, you have your normal buttons to fight or whatever, and then like I was like, oh well, this guy uses magic, so I had to hit the button to bring up my magic menu, and then hit the analog over to select which magic I want. And this is in the middle of the fight, so it just pauses everything, and then select that, do my magic, swap back over to my sword that I need to use because there's multiple swords you got to use on different enemies, and then finally I can hit the guy.
What? He switches the sword automatically.
If you
I don't
let
remember.
it. If you let it.
Yeah, if you let it.
Oh,
But
man.
and then like I
Oh, no.
remember
You guys are high or something.
I remember my girlfriend, she just beat the game not too long ago, but when she started playing it, it took me like 15 minutes because she couldn't figure out how to just have your inventory, for your food and stuff, your inventory to go to a different thing. And it took me like 15 minutes just to figure it out myself, to be like, how do you swap inventory items at the bottom, whatever. And I couldn't do it. And then I think there is just a lot of controls you have to memorize and get good at to be decent at the game.
In Game's defense, it told me, do you want to see tutorials and tips? And I was like, nah. I know how to play games. No, I don't.
Witcher 3 is trash.
No, it's not.
Also,
trash.
Here's the blasphemous thing, you guys are gonna, I got bored with the game and I quit playing because it was boring.
Motherfucker.
Damn.
I probably got about a third of the way through, and then I was just like, well, I've seen what this game has to offer.
I think
just quit
if the game would have
I'm like-
Skyrim controls in Witcher, it would be the perfect. It would be so perfect.
I don't know how to feel about this anymore. I mean, I regret doing the entire podcast now.
I've never played it. I own it. I've never played it.
Honestly, I played Witcher 3 when it came out on PC. I think it was a year after release or like that. It came on consoles first. It is hands down the best RPG I've ever played. No RPG comes even close to it.
Not according to 50% of this podcast.
50% of this podcast can suck a dick, I guess.
I would say it's like 66% because you haven't played it yet, Gratigi.
Well, I mean, that's why I have no opinion. No. So yeah, 66%. I wouldn't even be in it.
Yeah, I would honestly, I would say my opinion of it is I like it way more than I dislike it. So I'm over here saying I hate the game. It's not good. I like the game more than I dislike it, but like I said, just control wise, I can understand what North was saying, and yeah, but personally, I just got kind of bored with it after playing, putting so many hours, because I just felt like I wasn't doing anything progressive in the game, because it takes so long to level up in between levels and stuff like that. So I just felt like I wasn't really doing anything other than just running around and killing things the same way I've been.
Run around and kill things.
Yeah, but I didn't feel like I was,
See, I fucking love it.
I didn't feel my character growing as a character. I wasn't like, oh, I got this cool new ability now. Things like that. I just didn't see any. I didn't feel the progression, I guess.
I love the stories. I love the missions, the hunts, the treasure hunts, going to new towns, playing Gwent. I mean, all of that stuff. I was so immersed. Jesus fucking Christ, I loved it.
I haven't tried Gwent yet.
I mean, I sank.
Gwent was pretty good. I mean, they came out with a solo game of it, so
I sank
Yeah,
a
it
whole
has to
lot of
be.
hours into Gwent for nothing. Now I got to the island part of the game and they wrecked me in the card game and I wanted to murder everybody.
But now you can just play the card game because that's a separate.
Well,
separate
yeah,
thing.
but
yeah.
I like the actual game.
Yeah,
And
in
there's
the
no
tutorial where
boobs
you
in
have
the
to
card game.
fight the old Witcher. I forgot his name. And it said now parry these attacks, and I parried, and then it says counterattack, and I didn't know how to do it. Like I was pressing every single button, but I didn't know you have to press the parry again right after as he's about to hit. So I died like 5 times there.
It's almost like you shouldn't skip tutorials.
Yeah, man.
What?
Yeah.
What? What? This is crazy.
Apex.
Let's talk about Apex.
It's good.
It's a free-to-play game. It's pretty good.
All right.
It's
on to the next
okay.
one.
It's okay.
I haven't played it at all. I probably won't. Mostly because I don't already have that launcher installed, and I don't want to.
Yeah, it took me like, I don't want to install it, but I want to try this game. So I just had to download it.
So what is Apex? What is Apex?
The love child of Overwatch and PUBG.
I would say Overwatch and Fortnite though, or not even Fortnite. Overwatch and I guess PUBG.
I would say it's Titanfall, but BR.
Doesn't have wall climbing though.
Yeah, do you have Titans?
No Titans.
No Titans and no wall climbing north. You're dumb. I'm just joking.
I never played Titan, so I don't know.
It's fun.
Most of the guns are from Titanfall.
Yeah, I had heard that. I heard that a lot of the like the way that the game kind of controls and the gun shoot, that it's very reminiscent of Titanfall.
I mean, it's made by the same dudes, so
yeah.
I'm pretty sure they will probably implement that wall sliding. Probably.
I would say for me personally, like I already had the launcher installed for another game, but if I had not had the launcher installed, this is a game that I would install the launcher for. Strategy.
Interesting.
Yeah. I like the game a lot. Like I know North has been playing a lot, and I know Tom plays with me. I don't know how much he plays on his own time, but on my own time, I've been playing it a lot.
I would say the game is definitely not enjoyable alone. Like I can't play that game alone. It's not fun, not at all.
See, I play it alone too, and have a perfectly fine time. I mean, it's not as fun as playing with one of you guys, or but
yeah, but it definitely, in my opinion, it needs at least that one extra person in there to actually have fun.
Yeah.
Like Radic said before, like some games just become to another level when you play with friends.
Yeah, definitely.
That is definitely one of them.
I think every BR game is very much like that. And you guys probably have way more experience with BR games than I do, because I don't necessarily avoid them, but I just have no interest in trying them. But the few times I have played them, they just having a squad makes it a much different game.
Yeah, and because people don't know what is good, what should they do, you often end up with a teammate that has no clue of the game, no idea what is good, where should I go, and etc.
That's what I need to play with, so I look good. Works out for me. So like some of the negatives on the game, in my opinion, is I think we talked about it before. Well, this isn't technically a negative for me, but some people have complained that there's no like solo mode, and which that doesn't bother me too, or duos. But that's what I was gonna say. What bothers me is you can only play in three-man squads, and we already ran into a situation where there was 4 of us play, and there was just no way for all 4 of us to play together. So, we had to basically make two-man teams and play separate games instead of having a 1 4-man team and play together. So I do wish they would be able to make, at least have 4 players
Yeah.
have a game.
I imagine that in the future they'll add duos and 4-man squads. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
But I do recognize that it was a design decision that they've made at some point in the development, that 3-man squads is what they want to do. That's what they stuck with. But I mean, the game is obviously very successful. They has 20 million players and 2 million concurrent. So obviously this was a very big success for both Respawn and EA. So I do assume that they're going to add a lot of things to the game.
There was like next to no advertising either, right?
No,
No.
came out of nowhere. Which is, I mean, it can be a very interesting discussion on marketing and what kind of the death of the traditional marketing. I mean,
yeah.
When something like this happens, I mean, every single publisher right now is looking at EA and trying to suss out how the fuck they did this. How do you not spend any dollars on marketing and become the most successful game on Twitch? How do you spend 0 money on marketing before release and you have 20 million players?
By making a good game.
And the word spread out like super fast.
I mean, they did pay a lot of streamers to play this.
Yeah, I was about to ask, is that their marketing is paying all the big name streamers to play it, basically?
Probably.
Yeah, but the word spread like super fast. It didn't take more than 3 days before they probably reached around 6 million players. And that's fast. That's fast. If you don't have any advertisement.
See, in traditional marketing, you ramp up marketing before release, like a month or something. You ramp up marketing real much. Like you have advertisements on TV or radio or billboards or whatever. I mean, this came literally out of nowhere. There were rumors like 2 days before release that they're gonna announce this stuff. And then they announce it and then you play it. I mean, I think it's extraordinary. Considering that they passed 20 million players. 20 million players.
Yeah, but is this something that you can recreate with like a normal AAA title that costs
absolutely
$60?
Not.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Yeah,
like this is only something that you can create with something like Apex.
Yeah, I mean, it's, from what I understand, it's a good enough game, and I think that focusing their money and their advertisement on big streamers is probably what they did right on it. I mean, if you think about it, like how many people are going to see one given ad on a website because that they may or may not even have ad blocker on. So if they're watching a YouTube video and a clip for Apex comes up, how many people are actually going to pay attention to it, and how many people are even going to see it versus the 60,000 people that are watching Dr. Disrespect play that game. Like they go out of their way to essentially see that advertisement, and then they get gameplay, they get honest opinions, they get feedback.
And it's basically, instead of like a 30-second ad, it's a 2 or 3, 4 hour ad.
Yeah.
Then,
and that they're actually seeing, like, they know what its faults are. You know, they don't see just a best of reel. They're seeing someone put it through its paces by watching someone with a higher skill level, so they see what is possible in a game like that. And I think that was probably exactly what they did right. Was this essentially, instead of having ads, they basically put out demos that people can watch.
And I think they did it well, that they actually had the game polished before actually releasing. Like if you try to do something like this with not polished game, like I don't know, like Fallout 76, it would be crazy. Like that would be anti-ad, basically.
Yeah. I would compare. Instead of Fallout, I would say PUBG, considering they sold PUBG for $20, and it was a buggy fucking mess for still a buggy. And
that's another thing. The game's free as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, but Apex at a quality level. I mean, there's no discussion which is better. It's Apex.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's another part of it is like whenever you have that many big streamers playing it, you're really putting yourself out there. So they had to make for certain that it wasn't a buggy mess. Because if you pay that many people to play it and it's shit, everyone is going to see that it's shit. But if you pay that many people to play it and it's not, and it's actually a gem, well, everyone's going to see that it's good. So they took a risk, but they made sure that that they had the advantage on that.
And I mean, obviously, like what really, really helps Apex right now is that those streamers that they paid to play the game are still playing the game.
Right.
Which, I mean, it also speaks to the quality of the game and how people, especially the BR streamers, how they, and more especially those who didn't enjoy Fortnite, how they really found for the first time since PUBG something to really want to play.
Yeah. Like right now, Ninja is playing Apex with 50,000 viewers. On a Saturday afternoon, 50,000 viewers is absurd.
Ninja has been taking a real big hit, though, in his viewership overall.
Yeah.
But I think that Metro Exodus is, judging by my follower list here, is that the people that were playing Apex are not playing Apex, they're playing Metro now. But then again, it changes fast.
I mean, yeah, but Metro is different. It's a major AAA story-driven game release, and I know a lot of big streamers they play these. But they're those types of streamers that they stream 8+ hours per day, so they chug through these games and then they go back to their regular stuff.
Yeah, like a good example that I would think are about in the same league. Lyric is streaming Metro Exodus, and he's got about half as many viewers as Ninja does. Now, I know Ninja these days is bigger than Lyric, but I'd say that they're in the same ballpark of stream size, and he's got almost half as much, and he's playing Metro.
So, meanwhile, when Shroud plays Apex, he has about 100,000 viewers.
Yeah. I know, like I said, I think it was yesterday or day before I saw Dr. Disrespect playing for like 60, 70,000 people. So.
But Apex is really enjoyable, and it's really good. I mean, the game is good. Slowly but surely, my interest in it is dwindling. I don't foresee myself playing Apex in 4 weeks.
Same here, to be honest. It has its charm, but it's not something you can play day on end.
Well, let me ask you this then, to all three of you. Knowing what you know now, having just said that, would you spend money on Apex?
I actually considered it, but then I decided no, it's not.
Because
it's not worth it.
Let's assume that in a hypothetical world, let's assume that only the Founders Pack is what's available. There's not like a free to play version. Would you still try Apex for $30?
No.
Without knowing, it's hard.
Like
to
knowing
say.
what you know now and how much you're going to enjoy it up to this point, would you spend $30 on the game?
No.
I'm not sure. Probably.
You know why I say no?
Why? It's EA.
Because it's published by EA.
I would if I knew other people were going to play it, like my friends. If like, right now, if Tom and Noah were like, oh, we're not going to play it anymore in like 4 weeks, then I wouldn't pay for it because I'm like, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to play with. But if everyone was like, yeah, we'll be playing it in the future, then yeah, I'd definitely pay $30 for it.
So if it, let's say that it wasn't published by EA. Continue adding to the hypothetical. Would you give $30 for it, Tumlo?
Probably.
Like if it was just published by some indie studio, this is their only game they've ever put out, you would spend $30 on it?
Yeah, probably.
I think, in my opinion, I think the $20 to $30 range is like an okay range to have a gamble on a game. Any more than that, I'm like, eh. If I don't think it's gonna be great, $20-$30 is about the limit for me.
Yeah, like same with Artifact. No one plays that game. It was like $20 when I bought it. I played it for
Artifact is special.
Hours,
Artifact is a little bit special though.
Yeah.
I mean, the failure that is Artifact is a little bit different.
Brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, complete fucking financial failure.
Didn't we have a story about that there might create a new Titanfall game?
Yeah, see, when Apex was released, or rather, when the rumors started about Apex, one of the original rumors were that it's gonna be set in the Titanfall universe, and when the game came out, EA started talking about it, obviously too, and so a few things were confirmed. Apex is not Titanfall 3, obviously. It's set in the Titanfall universe. Their Respawn is not developing Titanfall 3, but EA has stated that there will be a Titanfall premium game coming out this year. And what premium would mean is that you would have to pay for the game. So presumably Titanfall 3, not developed by Respawn. But nobody knows.
I think that what they're gonna do, they're gonna use Apex as an IP to make a Titanfall game. That is something I would do, because Titanfall is not a good IP name.
I think it's way too early for Apex. Remember, Apex came out a couple of weeks ago, and EA did never know that Apex would be this popular. Well, changing developments on a game that's coming out this year, that has presumably been in development for years at this point, is not really a good idea.
Yeah, well, that's true. But if it's not a Titanfall game, is this gonna be another new IP?
I mean, EA literally said that there's gonna be a Titanfall game coming out this year. Respawn is not developing Titanfall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's move on to Trevor.
Yeah, do you want to talk about anything, Trevor?
Did you ever play any more of Preying on the Gods?
Oh yeah. I forgot about that game.
Oh shit.
No, I enjoyed it. So Praying for the Gods, kind of like Shadow of the Colossus, except for indie game. I think it was like a 3-man team that made it. I was looking forward to the game a lot, and so I went ahead and bit the bullet and bought the early access to it. I tried playing on the hardest difficulty at first, and basically, in my opinion, unless I don't know if I'm just really shitty at the game or not, but I don't think the game is optimized to be played on the hardest difficulty right now, because like in the game you're basically out in the wilderness, and it's snowstorms constantly, and your character freezes constantly, and water, if you have no stamina, which the game is based on how much stamina you have, if you have no stamina and you touch water, you immediately die. So like there's a monster, like one of the Titans is in the center of a pool of water, and if you go out there to swim to it, you'll just die because you run out of stamina. So yeah, like, so I tried to I it's the second boss. I tried to fight the second boss, like, I don't know, at least 35 times.
A bunch.
Yeah. And I just kept dying because I was freezing and touching the water when my stamina would run out and just immediately die. Even if I was doing super well, I would just touch the water and die immediately. And it got so frustrating. I had to put the difficulty back down to normal, which made the game playable. That would be my one gripe. It's like I just don't think it's optimized for which is, like I said, it's early access, so whatever. For the harder difficulties right now. I kind of quit playing it because work got in the way, and then Apex came out, so I started playing that, and then now I need to try to finish Far Cry 5 so I can play the DLC that just came out and all that stuff. So I kind of put it on hold for now, but I think for early access, it's a good game. There's bugs and things need to be fixed, but that's going to be with any early access game, especially on a team of 3 people that's making a game, so I give them more leeway than I would, Blizzard or someone that put out an early access game that was garbage.
Yeah, for sure.
It's fair.
But yeah.
I try to stay away from early access games myself, but I'll check it out once it's full release.
Yeah, like I said, probably normally I wouldn't do early access, but it's a game that like I've been keeping track of for like 4 years now.
Jeez.
3 or 4 years, and so when I was like, oh, it's out today, I was really excited. So I was like, I gotta buy it, But most games I probably wouldn't do the early access like that. If you do like Shadow of the Colossus, I think you'll like the game. There's more to it.
I still need to play Shadow of the Colossus.
Well, this isn't really a spoiler for Shadow of the Colossus, but in Shadow of the Colossus, you literally go kill the Colossus, respawn back at the base, go kill another Colossus, respawn back at the base, go kill another Colossus, respawn. And it's just over and over and over. That's all you do. In this game, there's actually like some like crafting thing. Like you have to make better suits so you don't freeze as fast, and you can run faster if you make boots. And there are smaller enemies. The combat system isn't that great, but it is there. There's like smaller enemies that you fight on the way to the I guess they're gods in this game, and not colossi. So there's just more to do in this game than there is in Shadow of the Colossus. But yeah,
sounds good.
Yeah, I'll probably try it after the full release. I'll probably pick it up, especially for only like $30. Like I said, that is the top end of my experimental money.
Yeah,
they are listening to people too, like their customers too, because like I think the day after it was released, people were complaining about certain things, and they went in there and patched certain things that they found and whatnot. So it seems like they're trying to stay on top of things. So we'll see where it goes.
For sure.
Is that the only thing really lately that you've, besides Apex?
Yeah, just that and Apex. Like I said, I need to still finish. I bought New Dawn, so I'm going to be playing that soon, but I need to try to finish the original.
Yeah.
Do it.
I look forward to hearing about New Dawn. I think it looks interesting.
Yeah,
I'm wondering...
Actually considering buying myself.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you get it, I'll play with you. We can stream buddies.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah,
I didn't even know it was multiplayer.
That's awesome.
I think it's probably like the normal game is co-op.
Yeah, you
can. I didn't know
that.
that.
It can be co-op. I think up to 6 players.
Oh,
holy crap! Wow.
I'm not sure on that. You might want to fact check me on that, but I know when I played with another person, when I went to add player, it had like 5 more spots for add a player. So I'm assuming it's just 6 people.
I remember playing the co-op, but it only gave like progress in story only for that person that was the leader.
Yeah, that's usually how that kind of stuff goes.
Yeah, that kind of sucks in a way if you want to play it with someone, But I'm wondering.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just wondering if the story for the New Dawn will like spoil with the original. I'm wondering because like I kind of
Yes.
want to go ahead and play it.
It
Yeah, I
will.
figured it would. Yeah.
If you don't know how Far Cry 5 ends,
Yeah, I don't know yet. I mean, obviously,
then don't play.
obviously with New Dawn, obviously the Armageddon happened. Obviously, but if that's a spoiler, then you know.
Well, that's
But
the
we'll see.
spoiler.
Yeah.
Are other Far Cry games co-op, or is this the first one? Because I don't feel like the other ones have been, but I haven't played them.
I think you could play some sort of co-op in 4.
But it's not full.
Yeah,
This is like full co-op.
that's neat.
But I don't like. I think the co-op and especially 5 is stupid because the leader only gets the experience. So if you want to play the campaign through with your buddy from start to finish, only one really plays through it with the
And
experience.
you don't get
Yeah.
any progress in like weapon stores and stuff like that, so you're gonna have to
Yeah.
stick with that one weapon or pick one up.
Yeah, I mean you're
Well, hopefully-
coattailing every from the start to beginning, from the beginning to end.
Hopefully, people complained about that, and maybe that's something they fixed for the New Dawn. Hopefully.
I mean,
Maybe
yeah,
not.
like I don't have anything against single player games, but if you want to have co-op in your game, then for the love of God, make it co-op, real co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right, is that it?
I'm pretty
I think
sure
that's a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We are No Pants Society, the most pantsless Twitch stream on Twitch. And my name is Tumalo. My channel is twitch.tv/Tumalo. I play variety games. But right now, Metro Exodus is probably my main thing. Probably gonna continue tomorrow on Sunday until I finish it. Then we move on to something else.
My name is Gradigy. I am
Hello,
twitch.tv/Gradigy. I play also variety games, but not as many as Tumalo. I play like 2 games at a time, so if you like 2 games at a time, come give me a little peek. Playing the Hex and Final Fantasy X. After the Hex, though, I was going to play... What was that game? It's Code something. Crosscode. I'm going to play Crosscode.
Ooh, Crosscode. That's a nice
Yeah,
game.
it looks really nice. So I'm probably gonna play that after I finish the Hex, which should be next stream because it's pretty short. And that's it for me.
So you can find me at twitch.tv/Trevor the Miracle, and I'm going to be playing Far Cry 5 probably, and then once I get that done, I'll do New Dawn, and then I don't know, I'll, see what comes out, see what piques my fancy.
Yeah, my name is Northern Savant. People call me North. And if you want to see streamer never finish a game and just start new games over and over again, my channel is the place to be. I've started multiple playthroughs, never finished any. And currently I'm playing Dark Souls 3. Hopefully I can bring myself up to speed and start getting some progress in that game. I also played some Subnautica, Tarkov, Escape from Tarkov, and I'm probably not gonna stream Apex unless I get paid.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
So EA, holla at your boy.
And
I really
remember-
want to stream Apex, but I'm so bad at it.
and
I think that's
remember-
the perfect time to stream Apex.
But remember, fuck EA.
Yeah, fuck EA.
That's true.
Next podcast will be next month. We do one per month. We still don't have any dates or nothing because we're inconsistent, basically because my job schedule is impossible to work with. But next month, hopefully, some stuff will happen and we'll have a person on here to really talk about Anthem so I can continue shitting on it. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. 3 hours and 30 minutes.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
See ya, everybody.
Bye.
See you on the next episode.
Dragon Ball Z.